Once upon a time, in a land where twilight painted the sky with hues of purple and gold, there was a magical kingdom called Celestia. This kingdom was known for its breathtaking night skies, where stars twinkled in elaborate patterns that told stories of old. The beauty of the stars was thanks to the kingdom's star painter, an enigmatic figure who painted the night sky with stardust and dreams. The star painter, whose real name was Elara, lived in a grand observatory atop the highest hill in Celestia. She used a magical brush made from moonlight and stardust to create constellations and celestial designs. Every night, she would weave the tapestry of stars that enchanted the kingdom's people. One evening, as Elara prepared for her nightly task, a dark cloud blotted out the moon, causing the sky to become dim and gloomy. Elara realized with horror that her magical brush had gone missing. Without it, she couldn't paint the stars, and the night sky would remain dark and empty. Panicked, Elara set out on a quest to find her missing brush. Guided by the faint glimmer of the stars that still managed to shine through the darkness, she ventured into the enchanted forest, a place known for its whimsical and mysterious creatures. As Elara walked deeper into the forest, she encountered a wise old owl named Orion perched on a branch. Orion was known for his vast knowledge of the forest secrets. "Have you seen a magical brush?" Elara asked urgently. "It's crucial for my work as the star painter." Orion hooted thoughtfully. "I've heard whispers of a shadowy figure who has been seen roaming these woods. They might have taken your brush. To find them, you must first solve the riddle of the forest." The owl presented Elara with a riddle. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have nobody, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Elara pondered and then answered, "An echo." Orion's eyes gleamed with approval. "You are wise, and you are on the right path. The shadowy figure you seek is hiding in the moonlit grove, where echoes come to life." With Orion's guidance, Elara reached the moonlit grove, a place where the moonlight created an enchanting glow and shadows danced among the trees. As she entered the grove, she spotted a figure cloaked in darkness, holding her magical brush. "Stop right there," Elara called out. "That brush belongs to me." The shadowy figure revealed themselves to be a mischievous sprite named Lyric, known for her love of playing tricks. Lyric had taken the brush because she wanted to create her own constellation, one that she hoped would bring laughter and joy to the land. "I didn't mean any harm," Lyric explained. "I just wanted to add a little fun to the sky." Elara smiled understandingly. "I see your intentions were good, but the brush is part of a delicate balance that keeps the night sky beautiful for everyone. Perhaps we can work together to create something special." Lyric's eyes lit up with excitement. "Really? I'd love that." The two of them collaborated, combining Lyric's playful creativity with Elara's expert touch. They painted a new constellation, one that twinkled with vibrant colors and playful shapes, bringing both wonder and joy to the night sky. The constellation told a story of harmony and friendship, reflecting the unity between Elara and Lyric. When the constellation was complete, the night sky sparkled more brilliantly than ever, and the people of Celestia rejoiced at the new addition. Elara thanked Lyric for her help, and the sprite promised to use her mischief for good from then on. Elara and Lyric's newfound friendship became the talk of the kingdom. They continued to work together, creating mesmerizing night skies that celebrated the beauty of both magic and joy. The tale of the star painter and the mischievous sprite became a beloved legend in Celestia, reminding everyone of the magic that happens when creativity and cooperation come together. And so, the kingdom of Celestia shone brightly under its enchanting sky, a testament to the power of friendship and the wonders that arise from working together. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there lived a humble tailor named Finn. Finn was known for his extraordinary skill in sewing, but he was also famous for his vivid imagination and adventurous spirit. He often dreamed of grand adventures beyond the village, where he could use his talents for something more than mending clothes and stitching hems. One crisp autumn morning, as Finn was working in his small shop, an old woman entered, clutching a tattered piece of cloth. Her eyes twinkled with a mysterious light, and her voice was soft but commanding. "Young tailor, Can you mend this fabric? Finn examined the cloth and noticed it was unlike anything he had ever seen. The fabric shimmered with an ethereal glow, and intricate patterns of stars, forests, and mythical creatures adorned it. This is a very special fabric, Finn said, his curiosity piqued. Where did you get it? The old woman smiled, a hint of mischief in her eyes. It is part of an enchanted tapestry that has the power to grant wishes. Long ago, it was torn in a great battle, and its pieces were scattered across the land. If you can repair it, great wonders will be revealed to you. Intrigued by the prospect of adventure and the chance to prove his skill, Finn agreed. The old woman handed him a needle that glowed with a soft, golden light. This is a magical needle, she explained. It will guide your hand and reveal the path to the other pieces of the tapestry. As soon as Finn began to sew, the needle seemed to take on a life of its own, leading him through complex stitches that mended the fabric. Once the piece was whole, a bright light enveloped the room, and Finn found himself transported to a dense, ancient forest. In this enchanted forest, Finn encountered a group of fairies. They fluttered around him, their wings sparkling like morning dew. "Thank you for mending the first piece of the tapestry," said the fairy queen, her voice like the tinkling of bells. "The next piece lies in the Cave of Echoes, guarded by a fearsome dragon." Though a little frightened, Finn's resolve did not waver. He followed the fairy's directions and soon found himself at the entrance of the Cave of Echoes. The cave's mouth was dark and foreboding, but the magical needle's light guided him. Inside, the walls of the cave glowed with ancient runes, and Finn could hear the distant roars of the dragon. Summoning all his courage, Finn approached the dragon's lair. The dragon, a massive creature with scales that gleamed like molten gold, was sleeping soundly. Next to the dragon, Finn saw the second piece of the tapestry. He carefully crept forward, his heart pounding in his chest. Just as he reached for the tapestry, the dragon's eyes snapped open. "Who dares to enter my domain?" the dragon roared, smoke billowing from its nostrils. Finn stood his ground and spoke bravely, "I am Finn, a tailor on a quest to restore the enchanted tapestry. I seek the piece that lies here." The dragon eyed him curiously. "A tailor, you say? Prove your worth. Solve my riddle, and the tapestry piece is yours." The dragon's eyes glinted with intelligence as it recited the riddle, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Finn thought for a moment, then smiled. "An echo," he answered confidently. The dragon nodded, impressed. "You are correct, brave tailor. The tapestry piece is yours." With a sweep of its tail, the dragon nudged the fabric toward Finn. Grateful, Finn carefully stitched the piece to the first one, and once again, he was enveloped in light. This time, he found himself in a grand, ancient library. Shelves upon shelves of books stretched as far as the eye could see. A wise old owl perched on a lectern greeted him. "Welcome, Finn. The final piece of the tapestry is hidden here. You must solve the puzzle of the books to find it." The owl explained that Finn needed to find 3 specific books whose spines, when placed together, would reveal the location of the last piece. Using the magical needle's guidance, Finn searched the library, finding books with symbols matching those on the tapestry. As he placed the books together, a hidden compartment in the floor opened, revealing the final piece of the tapestry. With great care, Finn stitched it to the others. The completed tapestry glowed with a brilliant light, and Finn found himself back in his village, the old woman standing before him. "Well done, Finn," she said, her voice now strong and majestic. She transformed into a beautiful sorceress. "I am Elara, guardian of the enchanted tapestry. Because of your bravery and skill, the tapestry is whole again, and its magic can once more bless the land." Elara granted Finn a wish as a reward. Finn, ever humble, wished for his village to prosper and for his friends and family to live in happiness and good health. The tapestry's magic spread across the land, bringing peace and prosperity to all. From that day forward, Finn was known as the brave little tailor who restored the enchanted tapestry. He continued to create beautiful garments, but his greatest creation was the tale of his adventure, which was told and retold for generations, inspiring courage and kindness in all who heard it. And so, in the land where the stars kissed the earth and the moon bathed the world in its gentle glow, the tale of Finn, the brave little tailor, lived on, bringing light and hope to the hearts of many. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between lush forests and shimmering lakes, there was a legend of a magical lantern called the Lantern of Everlight. This lantern was said to have the power to grant any wish and bring light and joy to the darkest of places. For years, it had been lost, and the village had fallen into a time of uncertainty and gloom. In this village lived a brave and kind-hearted boy named Finn. Finn had always been fascinated by the tales of the Lantern of Everlight, and he believed that finding it could restore happiness to his village. One day, when a particularly fierce storm battered the village, causing widespread damage and despair, Finn decided it was time to embark on a quest to find the legendary lantern. The first challenge, the Enchanted Forest. Finn's journey began in the Enchanted Forest, a place known for its mysterious beauty and magical inhabitants. As he ventured deeper into the forest, he encountered a wise old deer with antlers that seemed to glow faintly in the dim light. To pass through the Enchanted Forest, the deer said in a voice like the rustling leaves, "You must solve this riddle. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Finn thought for a moment and answered, "Fire." The deer's eyes glowed with approval, and it stepped aside to reveal a hidden path through the forest. "Follow this path to reach your next challenge," the deer instructed. The second challenge, the Crystal Lake. Following the deer's directions, Finn arrived at the Crystal Lake, a serene and reflective body of water surrounded by towering cliffs. The lake was guarded by a graceful swan with feathers that sparkled like diamonds. To cross the Crystal Lake, the swan said with a gentle voice, "You must answer this question. I am always hungry, I must always be fed. The finger I touch will soon turn red. What am I?" Finn pondered the question and replied, "Fire." The swan's eyes twinkled with delight, and it used its wings to create a bridge of shimmering light across the lake. Finn carefully crossed the lake, his heart full of hope and determination. The third challenge, the Cave of Whispers. On the other side of the lake, Finn discovered the Cave of Whispers, a dark and cavernous space filled with glowing crystals that cast eerie shadows on the walls. At the entrance of the cave was a grand, ancient door adorned with celestial symbols. A soft voice echoed through the cave, "To open this door and find the Lantern of Everlight, you must reveal your true heart. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with pure intentions." Finn took a deep breath and spoke earnestly, "My deepest wish is to find the Lantern of Everlight and bring its light back to my village, so that we may restore our hope and joy." The cave's walls shimmered with a warm, golden light, and the grand door slowly creaked open, revealing the Lantern of Everlight glowing softly on a pedestal in the center of the cave. Its light was gentle yet powerful, casting a warm and comforting glow. The revelation, restoring light to the village. With the Lantern of Everlight in hand, Finn returned to his village. As he carried the lantern through the streets, its light began to spread, illuminating the once dark corners of the village. The lantern's light brought warmth and joy to the hearts of everyone who saw it. The damaged homes and fields started to heal, and the village was filled with a renewed sense of hope and happiness. The villagers gathered to celebrate the miraculous return of light and joy, and they thanked Finn for his bravery and determination. The tale of Finn's quest and the Lantern of Everlight became a cherished story in the village, a reminder of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic that can be found in the darkest of times. Under the warm glow of the lantern, the village thrived once more, forever grateful for the boy who had restored their light and their joy. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering lake, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Lila. Her family was known for their beautiful handcrafted lanterns that illuminated the village during the night. Each lantern was made with love and magic, passed down through generations. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the village prepared for the annual Lantern Festival, Lila's mother fell ill. Without her guidance, Lila was left to complete the final lantern, a special one meant to bring prosperity and joy to the village for the coming year. Lila worked tirelessly, but as the night grew darker, the lantern remained incomplete. She was just about to give up when she noticed a faint glow coming from the edge of the forest nearby. Curiosity piqued, she decided to follow the light. Through the whispering trees and over the sparkling stream, Lila ventured deeper into the forest until she arrived at a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. There, hovering above a small, ancient pedestal, was a lantern unlike any she had ever seen. Its light was soft and inviting, with colors dancing like the northern lights. Just as Lila reached out to touch it, a gentle voice spoke from behind her. "Greetings, young one," said a wise old woman with eyes like the twilight sky. "I am the guardian of the enchanted lantern. This lantern holds the magic of dreams and wishes." Lila, surprised but determined, explained her predicament. "I need to complete the lantern for the festival. My mother is ill, and I don't know if I can finish it in time." The guardian listened intently. "This lantern can help you, but its magic must be used wisely. It can grant one wish, but only if it is made with pure intentions and a true heart." Lila thought for a moment. She wished for her village to be blessed with happiness and prosperity for the coming year. With a deep breath, she made her wish and touched the enchanted lantern. The lantern's light grew brighter, and a warm breeze swirled around Lila, carrying the magic of her wish into the night sky. The guardian smiled kindly. "You have chosen well. Your heart is pure, and your wish is selfless." As Lila made her way back to the village, she found that the lantern she had been working on was now glowing with the same magical light she had seen in the forest. With renewed energy, she finished decorating it with intricate patterns and vibrant colors. The lantern festival began, and as each lantern was lit, the village was bathed in a warm, enchanting glow. The magic of the enchanted lantern spread throughout the village, bringing joy, prosperity, and a sense of unity. Lila's mother, feeling the magic's touch, began to recover. The village celebrated with great festivities, knowing that their wishes had been granted. Lila's selflessness and the magic of the enchanted lantern had made the festival one to remember. And so, under the shimmering lights of the lantern festival, Lila and her village lived happily ever after, knowing that the true magic of the lanterns came from the kindness and love shared by those who made them. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of the whispering forest, there was a small village named Glenwood. The village was known for its lush green meadows and sparkling rivers, but what truly made it magical was the ancient lantern of Luminera that stood in the center of the village square. The lantern was said to hold the power to grant one wish every 100 years. The lantern was a magnificent creation of gold and crystal, with intricate patterns that glowed faintly in the moonlight. Every century, when the lantern's light reached its peak, the villagers gathered to make their wishes, hoping for miracles. One autumn evening, as the 100th anniversary of the lantern's last wish approached, the village was abuzz with excitement. The chosen one to make the wish was to be a young girl named Ilara, known for her kindness and bravery. Ilara lived with her grandmother, Mira, in a quaint cottage on the edge of the forest. Mira had always told Ilara stories of the lantern's magic and the adventures it had brought to their ancestors. Ilara dreamed of making a wish for her village, which had recently faced many hardships due to a long drought. As the night of the wish drew nearer, Ilara prepared herself for the event. She wore a beautiful gown of silver and blue, and carried a small, handmade lantern that her grandmother had gifted her. Mira had told her that this lantern, though ordinary, was a symbol of her true heart and intentions. The night of the wish arrived with a brilliant full moon casting its glow upon the village. The villagers gathered around the lantern of Luminera, their faces illuminated by its shimmering light. The air was filled with anticipation as the clock struck midnight, signaling the moment for Ilara to make her wish. Ilara stepped forward, her heart pounding with excitement. She took a deep breath and, with a determined look in her eyes, whispered her wish into the lantern's glowing core. The words were simple but heartfelt. "I wish for the prosperity and happiness of our village, for the drought to end, and for the land to be abundant again." As Ilara finished her wish, a gentle breeze swirled around her, carrying with it a soft, melodious chime. the lantern of Luminera glowed brighter, and a beam of light shot up into the sky, creating a stunning aurora that painted the heavens with vibrant colors. The villagers watched in awe as the light from the lantern began to transform the village. The parched fields turned green, the rivers flowed with fresh water, and the trees blossomed with fruit and flowers. It was as though the entire land had been touched by magic. The next morning, the village awoke to find their wish granted. The once dry and barren land was now flourishing with life. The villagers celebrated with joy and gratitude, knowing that Ilara's wish had brought a new era of prosperity to Glenwood. Ilara's courage and selflessness were celebrated, and she became a beloved figure in the village. She continued to help her people and care for the land, ensuring that the magic of the lantern's wish lived on in every corner of their lives. The Lantern of Luminera remained a symbol of hope and wonder for future generations. Though it would be another 100 years before it would grant another wish, its light continued to inspire the hearts of those who believed in the power of dreams and the magic of giving. And so, Glenwood thrived, bathed in the glow of the enchanted lantern, and Ilara's story became a cherished legend, passed down through the ages as a testament to the power of a pure heart and a noble wish. The end.
Once upon a time, in a cozy village nestled between rolling green hills, lived a young girl named Clara. Clara was known throughout the village for her vivid imagination and her love for stargazing. Every night, she would sit by her window, staring up at the sky, and dream of adventures among the stars. One crisp, clear night, as Clara gazed up at the twinkling sky, she noticed something extraordinary. A star, brighter than any she had ever seen, began to twinkle and then slowly descend from the heavens. It floated down, landing softly in her garden. Intrigued and excited, Clara rushed outside to see the star up close. In her garden, the star transformed into a beautiful, glowing figure. The figure had delicate, shimmering wings and a warm, gentle smile. "Hello, Clara," the figure said in a melodious voice. "I am Stella, a star fairy. I've come because I heard your wishes and dreams as you gazed at the night sky." Clara's eyes widened with wonder. "A star fairy? I've never heard of such a thing. What brings you here?" Stella smiled. "I've come to grant you one wish, Clara. Anything your heart desires." Clara thought for a moment, then replied, "I wish to bring happiness and prosperity to my village. The people here are kind and hardworking, but they've faced many hardships lately." Stella's eyes twinkled with delight. "A noble wish, indeed. Your kindness and selflessness will be rewarded. But remember, true happiness and prosperity come from within and from helping one another." With a wave of her wand, Stella cast a sparkling spell over the village. The once ordinary garden now shimmered with magical flowers that bloomed even in the darkest night, fruits that never spoiled, and herbs that could cure any ailment. As the days passed, the villagers began to notice the changes. The fields yielded abundant crops, the animals were healthy and thriving, and the people themselves seemed more joyful and full of energy. Clara's garden became a sanctuary where everyone gathered to share stories, laughter, and dreams. One day, a traveling merchant named Elias arrived in the village. He was amazed by the vibrant atmosphere and the happiness that radiated from everyone. He visited Clara's garden and was welcomed with open arms. Clara shared the story of Stella, the star fairy, and the wish she had made. Elias was deeply moved by Clara's story. "I have traveled far and wide, but I've never seen such a place of harmony and joy. You and your village have something truly special." Elias decided to stay in the village, and with his knowledge of trade and craftsmanship, he helped the villagers create beautiful goods to sell in neighboring towns. The village prospered even more, becoming known as a place of magic and happiness. Years passed, and Clara grew up, but she never lost her love for the stars. Every night, she would still gaze up at the sky, thanking Stella for the gift she had given. One evening, as she sat by her window, Stella appeared once again. "Clara," Stella said, "you have used your wish wisely and brought great joy to your village. But now it is time for you to embark on your own adventure. Stella handed Clara a small, glowing star. This star will guide you wherever you wish to go. Follow it, and it will lead you to new dreams and new adventures. Clara hugged Stella, filled with gratitude. Thank you, Stella. I will cherish this gift and continue to spread happiness wherever I go. With the glowing star in hand, Clara set off on a journey beyond her village, exploring new lands, meeting new people, and sharing the magic of the star with everyone she encountered. Her adventures became legendary, and the tale of Clara and the star's gift was told in villages far and wide. And so, Clara's story lived on, a reminder that with a kind heart and a wish for the happiness of others, one could light up the world like the brightest star in the sky.
Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling hills and shimmering lakes, there was a quaint little shop known as the Teapot and Tumbler. It was run by an elderly woman named Mrs. Merriweather, who was known for her enchanting collection of teapots and teacups. The shop was filled with the most beautiful, delicate porcelain, each piece with its own story. Among Mrs. Merriweather's collection was a particularly special teacup. This teacup was adorned with intricate designs of stars and moons and had a gentle, warm glow about it. The villagers often admired it but were unaware of its true magic. According to legend, the teacup had the power to grant a single wish to anyone who truly needed it. One chilly autumn afternoon, a young girl named Clara came into the shop. Clara was known for her kindness and her beautiful singing voice, but she was deeply troubled. Her village had been suffering from a long and harsh winter, and the crops had failed. The villagers were worried and needed help. But nothing seemed to be working. As Clara wandered through the shop, her eyes fell upon the enchanted teacup. She was drawn to it, as if it was calling to her. Mrs. Merriweather noticed Clara's fascination and gently approached her. "That teacup is very special," Mrs. Merriweather said with a twinkle in her eye. "It has the power to grant a wish, but only if it is made with a pure heart." Clara's heart sank a little. "I don't know if I have a wish to make. I just want to help my village." Mrs. Merriweather smiled warmly. "Sometimes, the most selfless wishes are the most powerful. If you truly believe, the teacup will sense your heart." Clara decided to take the teacup home. That night, under the light of a full moon, she held the teacup close and whispered her wish. "I wish for our village to be saved from this harsh winter and for our crops to grow again." As Clara spoke, the teacup began to glow brightly. She could feel a warm, comforting sensation spreading through her, as if the teacup was responding to her heartfelt plea. Clara placed the teacup on her kitchen table and went to bed, hopeful but unsure. The next morning, Clara awoke to a miraculous sight. The harsh winter seemed to have lifted overnight. The sky was clear, and a gentle, spring-like warmth filled the air. As Clara stepped outside, she saw that the fields were covered with fresh green sprouts, and the trees were beginning to bud with blossoms. It was as if her village had been touched by a spell of rejuvenation. News of the sudden change spread quickly through the village. The villagers were astonished and overjoyed. They thanked Clara and celebrated the return of warmth and prosperity. Clara knew in her heart that the enchanted teacup had worked its magic. That evening, Clara returned to Mrs. Merriweather's shop to return the teacup, but it was nowhere to be found. In its place was a note that read, "Dear Clara, the teacup's magic is now a part of your village. It was your selfless wish that made the magic work. The teacup will always be with you in your heart, reminding you of the power of kindness and the strength of a pure wish. Mrs. Merriweather." Clara smiled, understanding that the true magic was not just in the teacup, but in the genuine desire to help others. From that day on, Clara and the villagers lived in harmony and prosperity, always remembering the lesson of the enchanted teacup. As the years went by, the tale of Clara and the magical teacup became a cherished story in the village. The teacup itself was never seen again, but its magic continued to inspire acts of kindness and selflessness, reminding everyone that even the smallest acts of love could make a world of difference. And so, the village thrived under the blessings of spring and the warmth of community, forever touched by the magic of a selfless wish. Once upon a time, in a secluded valley surrounded by misty mountains, there was a small village called Luminera. The village was renowned for its annual lantern festival, where lanterns of all shapes and colors were set afloat on the river of stars. The festival celebrated the village's prosperity and the legendary Lantern of Light, a magical lantern said to hold the power to grant one wish every century. The Lantern of Light was kept in the heart of the village, guarded by the wise old librarian, Mr. Eldrick. It was said that whoever possessed the lantern during the festival could make a wish, but the lantern's light would only shine brightly if the wish was pure and selfless. One year, as the Lantern Festival approached, an unexpected visitor arrived in Luminera. Her name was Seraphina, a young girl with a mysterious air about her and a captivating, golden pendant around her neck. She claimed to be from a distant land, seeking the Lantern of Light to save her village from an eternal winter. The villagers were skeptical but compassionate, and they allowed Seraphina to stay as she prepared for the festival. As the festival night drew near, Seraphina's presence became the talk of the village. People whispered about her quest, wondering if she could truly save her village. On the night of the Lantern Festival, the river sparkled with the light of countless lanterns. The Lantern of Light, glowing softly in its protective glass case, was placed on the festival stage. The villagers gathered around, their hearts full of anticipation. When the time came for Seraphina to make her wish, she approached Mr. Eldrick and the Lantern of Light with a determined expression. "I wish to save my village from the eternal winter that has befallen it," she declared. "Please, let the Lantern of Light grant this wish." Mr. Eldrick nodded solemnly and opened the case. The lantern's flame flickered and then dimmed, casting a shadow of uncertainty. The villagers watched in silence, their hearts heavy with concern. Suddenly, the golden pendant around Seraphina's neck began to glow. She looked down and saw that it was warm and pulsing with light. Seraphina took a deep breath and closed her eyes, focusing on her wish. "Please, let there be warmth and hope for my village," she whispered. The Lantern of Light began to glow brighter and brighter, its light expanding and filling the entire village with a warm, golden hue. The river sparkled with the lantern's reflections, and the festival grounds were bathed in an enchanting light. A magical breeze swept through the village, carrying the lantern's light far beyond the valley. The villagers watched in awe as the light spread across the land, reaching Seraphina's distant village, where the eternal winter began to lift. Snow melted, and flowers bloomed once more as the warmth returned to Seraphina's home. The lantern's light eventually faded, leaving behind a gentle, glowing ember. Seraphina's eyes were filled with tears of joy and gratitude. She turned to the villagers of Luminera. "Thank you for believing in me and helping me save my village. I promise to honor this gift and share the warmth with everyone." The villagers cheered, their hearts swelling with pride and happiness. The Lantern Festival continued with renewed joy, and Seraphina's tale became a cherished part of Luminera's history. As Seraphina prepared to leave, Mr. Eldrick handed her a small, wooden box. "This is a token of our appreciation," he said. "It contains a fragment of the Lantern of Light's magic. May it guide you and your village in times of need." Seraphina thanked Mr. Eldrick and the villagers before departing. She carried the box with her as she returned to her village, and the magic within it continued to bring light and hope to her people. And so, the Lantern of Light became a symbol of selflessness and the power of hope. Luminera thrived, and its Lantern Festival grew even more magical, celebrated not only for the lanterns but for the enduring spirit of kindness and community. Once upon a time, in the quaint village of Bramblebrook, nestled between rolling hills and lush meadows, there was a small, charming tea shop run by a kind old woman named Mrs. Thistle. The tea shop was renowned for its delicious teas and the comforting atmosphere it provided. However, the true magic of the tea shop lay in an old, ornate teapot that Mrs. Thistle kept hidden away in a special cupboard. This teapot was no ordinary teapot. It was enchanted, and it had the power to grant a single wish to anyone who drank from it with a pure heart. The secret of the teapot was known only to Mrs. Thistle, and she used it sparingly, only when someone truly needed a wish. One crisp autumn day, a young boy named Oliver came into the tea shop. Oliver was a curious and kind-hearted lad, but his family had fallen on hard times. his father had fallen ill, and his mother was struggling to make ends meet. Despite their hardships, Oliver always wore a bright smile and tried to help his parents in any way he could. Mrs. Thistle noticed the worry in Oliver's eyes and the weariness in his mother's face. She knew it was time to reveal the magic of the teapot. After Oliver and his mother had enjoyed a warm cup of tea, Mrs. Thistle invited them to stay a little longer. "I have something special to show you," she said, leading them to the cupboard where the enchanted teapot was kept. She carefully took it out and placed it on the table. "This teapot," Mrs. Thistle explained, "has the power to grant a single wish to those with a pure heart. You may use it to ask for anything that can help you and your family." Oliver's eyes widened with amazement. He had heard stories of magical things, but he had never imagined he would encounter such a wonder. He took the teapot and, with a hopeful heart, made his wish, "I wish for my father to get better and for our family to be happy again." Mrs. Thistle smiled warmly and told Oliver to pour a cup of tea from the teapot and drink it. Oliver did as instructed, and as he took the first sip, he felt a warm, comforting sensation spread through him. The teapot began to glow softly, and a gentle breeze seemed to fill the room. That night, Oliver's father's condition began to improve. The next day, a local healer came to the house, and with his help, Oliver's father made a remarkable recovery. The family's fortunes also changed as unexpected help came their way, and they began to find joy and stability once more. Grateful for the magic that had transformed their lives, Oliver and his family returned to Mrs. Thistle's tea shop to thank her. They found her in the garden, tending to her plants. "Thank you, Mrs. Thistle," Oliver said, his eyes shining with gratitude. "The magic of the teapot brought my father back to us and made our family whole again." Mrs. Thistle nodded with a smile. "Remember, my dear, the true magic is in the kindness of your heart and the love you have for your family. The teapot merely helped reveal the goodness within you." From then on, Oliver and his family continued to visit the tea shop regularly, and their lives flourished with happiness and prosperity. The enchanted teapot remained in Mrs. Thistle's cupboard, ready to help those who needed it most, but its true magic lay in the love and kindness that it inspired in those who sought its aid. And so, the village of Bramblebrook thrived, filled with warmth and joy, all thanks to the kindness of a magical teapot and the loving heart of a young boy. The end. In a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and serene meadows, there stood an ancient tree known as the Whispering Willow. This tree was special not only for its grandeur, its branches draped gracefully like a curtain, but for the magical whispers it was said to carry. Villagers believed that the tree could speak to those who truly listened, sharing secrets and stories from far-off lands. One fine spring morning, a kind-hearted girl named Elowen, who had recently moved to the village, discovered the Whispering Willow. She had heard tales of its magic but had never truly believed them. Elowen was curious and decided to visit the tree. She approached the Whispering Willow and sat quietly beneath its sweeping branches. The gentle breeze rustled the leaves, creating a soothing melody. Elowen closed her eyes and listened carefully. To her amazement, she began to hear faint whispers, like a conversation carried on the wind. "Find the golden acorn," the whispers said. "It will grant you one wish." Elowen's eyes flew open, and she looked around. The village elders had spoken of a golden acorn in old stories, but no one had ever seen it. Determined to uncover the truth, Elowen set off on a quest to find the mysterious acorn. Her journey took her through meadows, across streams, and into the heart of the nearby forest. The forest was known for its enchanting beauty and hidden secrets. As she walked deeper into the woods, she encountered various creatures, gentle deer, wise owls, and mischievous squirrels. Each one seemed to offer her a clue, guiding her further along her path. At dusk, Elowen came upon a sparkling brook. The water flowed with a soft, golden light, and the air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers. She followed the brook until she reached a small, hidden glade where a magical fountain stood. The fountain was adorned with intricate carvings of woodland creatures and shimmering stones. As Elowen approached the fountain, a tiny figure emerged from behind it, a fairy named Leora. Leora's wings sparkled with a spectrum of colors, and her eyes twinkled with kindness. "You seek the golden acorn," Leora said with a smile. "It is hidden within the heart of the forest, a place where only those with pure intentions can find it." Leora explained that the heart of the forest was a mystical grove that could only be accessed by solving a riddle. She then presented Eloan with a small, ornate box and said, "To find the heart, you must answer this riddle. I have keys but no locks, I have space but no room, you can enter but not go outside. What am I?" Eloan pondered the riddle, her brow furrowed in thought. After a moment, she realized the answer. "A piano," she said confidently. The box opened with a soft click, and inside was a map to the heart of the forest. Eloan thanked Leora and followed the map through winding paths and ancient trees. The forest seemed to come alive with a soft, magical glow, guiding her steps. At last, Eloan arrived at the heart of the forest. A serene glade with a majestic tree at its center. The tree had branches that shimmered like silver and leaves that glowed with a soft, golden light. Beneath its roots lay a small, golden acorn, bathed in a gentle, ethereal light. With great care, Eloan picked up the golden acorn. As she held it, she felt a warm, comforting energy fill her heart. She made a wish for the well-being and happiness of her new village and its people. As the sun set and the first stars began to twinkle in the sky, the golden acorn's light grew brighter, spreading a warm glow throughout the forest. Eloan returned to the village, where the whispering willow greeted her with a rustling of its leaves, as if thanking her for restoring its magic. The village soon experienced a wave of good fortune and harmony. Crops flourished, families grew closer, and a sense of joy filled the air. The whispering willow's whispers were now filled with tales of hope and happiness, and the villagers celebrated Eloan's bravery and kindness. Eloan continued to visit the whispering willow, listening to its tales and sharing the magic she had found. The golden acorn remained a cherished symbol of the village's prosperity, and the whispering willow stood as a reminder of the power of pure intentions and the magic of discovery. And so, the village thrived under the light of the whispering willow, where dreams and wishes became a part of the everyday magic that brought them all together. The enchanted compass. Once upon a time, in a quiet coastal village surrounded by majestic cliffs and misty seas, there was a young girl named Mira who dreamed of adventures beyond the horizon. Mira had always been fascinated by the tales of distant lands told by sailors who visited the village. Her father, a fisherman, would often share stories of his voyages, which only fueled her longing for exploration. One day, while exploring the attic of her family's cottage, Mira discovered an old, dusty chest. Inside, she found a beautifully crafted compass with intricate designs etched into its brass surface. The compass needle didn't point north, instead, it spun wildly and seemed to be enchanted. There was a note tucked inside the chest that read, "To find your true path, follow where the compass leads, but beware of the challenges it brings." The call to adventure excited by her discovery, Mira decided to follow the compass's guidance. She packed a small satchel with essentials and set out toward the cliffs, where the compass needle pointed. As she ventured beyond familiar paths, the landscape transformed, becoming wilder and more magical. Mira's first challenge was a swirling river that seemed impossible to cross. The compass's needle spun in the direction of a hidden stone path beneath the water. Using the compass as her guide, Mira carefully stepped on the stones, which glowed faintly with each step she took. She reached the other side safely, her heart filled with determination. The Forest of Whispers. The compass led Mira into a dense, enchanted forest known as the Forest of Whispers. The trees were tall and ancient, and their leaves rustled with secrets. As Mira walked, she noticed that the forest seemed to whisper her name, and the path was increasingly difficult to follow. In the heart of the forest, she met a wise old owl named Orion, who perched on a branch. Orion spoke, "To continue on your journey, you must solve the riddle of the forest. Only then will the path become clear." The riddle was, "I have keys but open no locks, I have space but no room, you can enter but not go outside. What am I?" Mira thought for a moment and then answered confidently, "A piano." Orion nodded, pleased with her answer, and the forest paths began to illuminate, guiding her further along. The Isle of Echoes. The compass now directed Mira to a rocky shore where a small boat awaited her. She rowed across the sea to the Isle of Echoes, a mystical island said to be inhabited by elusive sea spirits. The island was surrounded by a fog that made it hard to see. As she stepped onto the island, the fog parted to reveal a grand, ancient lighthouse. At the lighthouse's base was a large, intricately carved door with a locking mechanism that matched the compass's design. Mira realized that the compass was not just a guide but also the key. She inserted the compass into the lock, and the door creaked open to reveal a hidden chamber. Inside, she found a beautiful, glowing pearl resting on a velvet cushion. The pearl's light was warm and inviting, and Mira felt an immediate sense of peace. The return journey with the pearl in hand, Mira retraced her steps, following the compass as it led her back to the village. Along the way, she encountered the challenges she had faced before but now found them easier to overcome, as if the pearl had granted her newfound confidence and insight. When she returned, the villagers were amazed by her adventure. The pearl was placed in the village square as a symbol of courage and discovery. Mira's journey became legendary, inspiring others to follow their dreams and embrace their own adventures. The enchanted compass was carefully stored in the village's small museum, a reminder of Mira's bravery and the magic that lies beyond the horizon. A new beginning. Mira's tales of her adventure continued to captivate the villagers and beyond. She grew up to become a renowned explorer, traveling far and wide, always guided by the spirit of her first adventure and the lessons learned from the enchanted compass. And so, the village thrived, always remembering the girl who followed her dreams and discovered a world of magic and wonder beyond their shores. Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there was a legend passed down through generations. It was said that somewhere deep within the woods lay a hidden garden, a place of unimaginable beauty where every flower bloomed in colors no one had ever seen before, and where the trees whispered secrets of the earth. The legend also told of a guardian who protected the garden, a mysterious creature known only as the Evergreen, who was said to grant a single wish to anyone worthy enough to find the garden. In this village lived a young boy named Leo. Leo was kind and curious, with a heart full of dreams and a mind full of questions. He often spent his days wandering the woods near his home, exploring the trails and streams, and imagining what the hidden garden might look like. The villagers often warned him not to go too far into the forest, as many had tried to find the garden and never returned. But Leo's curiosity was too strong, and he believed that he could find the garden if he only tried hard enough. One crisp autumn morning, Leo decided it was time to seek out the hidden garden. He packed a small satchel with some bread, cheese, and a flask of water, and set off into the woods. The forest was alive with the colors of fall, the leaves crunching under his feet as he walked. He followed the winding paths deeper into the forest than he had ever gone before, determined to find the legendary garden. As the day wore on, Leo found himself in parts of the forest that felt different, older, more mysterious. The trees here were taller, their branches weaving together to form a thick canopy that let in only slivers of sunlight. The air was cooler, and the forest was quieter, as if holding its breath. Leo's heart pounded with excitement and a little fear, but he pressed on, knowing he was getting closer. After hours of walking, Leo came across a small, bubbling brook. He stopped to rest and drink from the cool, clear water. As he sat by the brook, he noticed something strange, a path of soft moss that seemed to glow faintly in the dappled light. The path led away from the brook and into a dense thicket of trees. Leo's heart raced as he realized this might be the way to the hidden garden. With renewed determination, Leo followed the mossy path. The trees grew thicker, and the light dimmer, but Leo didn't turn back. He could feel that he was close, and the thought of finding the garden kept him going. The path wound through the forest, twisting and turning, until finally, it opened into a clearing. Leo gasped in amazement. Before him lay the hidden garden, just as the legends had described. It was a place of breathtaking beauty, with flowers of every color imaginable blooming in perfect harmony. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blossoms, and the sound of birds singing softly. In the center of the garden stood a massive tree with leaves of silver and gold, its branches reaching high into the sky. Leo knew at once that this was the heart of the garden. But as he stepped into the clearing, a figure emerged from behind the tree. It was the Evergreen, the guardian of the hidden garden. The creature was unlike anything Leo had ever seen, tall and slender, with skin the color of emerald leaves and eyes that glowed like the morning sun. The Evergreen's hair was a cascade of vines and flowers, and its voice was as soft as the wind through the trees. "Welcome, young one," the Evergreen said, its voice echoing in the stillness of the garden. "You have found the hidden garden, a place of beauty and magic. But to truly enter, you must prove yourself worthy. Are you ready?" Leo nodded, his heart pounding in his chest. "Yes, I am ready," he said, though he wasn't entirely sure what proving himself would mean. The Evergreen smiled gently. "Very well. I will give you 3 tasks. If you complete them, you may make a wish, and it will be granted. But if you fail, you must leave the garden and never return. Do you accept?" Leo hesitated for only a moment before nodding again. "I accept," he said, determined to see his quest through. The first task, the Song of the Nightingale. The Evergreen's first task was for Leo to find the nightingale of the forest and bring back its song. The nightingale was a bird of great wisdom and beauty, but it was also elusive, only singing for those with a pure heart. Leo ventured back into the forest, listening carefully for the nightingale's song. He walked for hours, through thick underbrush and across streams, but heard nothing. As the sun began to set, Leo started to worry that he wouldn't find the bird in time. Just as he was about to give up, he heard a faint, melodious song drifting through the trees. It was the most beautiful sound he had ever heard, filled with joy and sorrow all at once. He followed the sound until he found the nightingale perched on a low branch, its feathers shimmering in the fading light. The nightingale stopped singing as Leo approached, watching him with wise, knowing eyes. Leo bowed his head respectfully. "Please, nightingale, I need your song to complete my task," Leo said softly. "I seek the hidden garden and the wish it offers." The nightingale tilted its head, as if considering his request. Then, to Leo's surprise, it began to sing again. The song was even more beautiful up close, filling Leo's heart with warmth and hope. As the bird sang, Leo felt a sense of peace and understanding wash over him. He realized that the song was not something he could take back with him, it was something he had to carry in his heart. When the nightingale finished its song, Leo thanked the bird and returned to the hidden garden. The Evergreen was waiting for him, its eyes shining with approval. "You have done well, young one," the Evergreen said. "You have learned that the greatest treasures are those we carry within us. The song is yours, and it will guide you on your journey." The second task, the gift of the willow tree. The Evergreen's second task was for Leo to find the ancient willow tree at the edge of the forest and ask it for a gift. The willow tree was known to be wise and generous, but it only gave gifts to those who were truly deserving. Leo made his way to the edge of the forest, where the willow tree stood by a quiet pond. The tree was old and majestic, its long branches draped gracefully over the water. As Leo approached, the tree's branches rustled gently, as if acknowledging his presence. "Great willow tree," Leo said, bowing respectfully. "I have come to ask for a gift to complete my task. Will you grant me one?" The willow tree's branches swayed in the breeze, and Leo heard a soft, whispering voice in his mind. "What is it you seek, young one?" the willow tree asked. "I seek the hidden garden and the wish it offers," Leo replied. "But I do not know what gift I should ask for." The willow tree was silent for a moment, and then it spoke again. "Gifts are not always material, young one," the tree said. "The greatest gifts are those that come from the heart. I will give you a gift, but first, you must give something in return. What will you offer?" Leo thought for a moment. He had little to give, no riches or treasures. But he remembered the kindness he had always tried to show others, and the love he had for the world around him. "I offer you my heart," Leo said. "My kindness, my love for the world, and my hope for a better future." The willow tree's branches swayed once more, and then a single, delicate leaf floated down from the tree and into Leo's hand. "This leaf is my gift to you," the willow tree said. "It holds the essence of the forest, the wisdom of the trees, and the love of all living things. Guard it well, for it will protect you on your journey." Leo thanked the willow tree and returned to the hidden garden. The evergreen was waiting for him, its eyes filled with warmth. "You have done well, young one," the evergreen said. "You have learned that the greatest gifts come from the heart. The leaf is yours, and it will guide you on your journey." The third task, the test of the heart, the evergreen's final task, was the most difficult. Leo had to face the test of the heart, a challenge that would reveal his true nature. The evergreen led Leo to a small, secluded part of the garden, where a mirror made of crystal clear water lay on the ground. "In this mirror, you will see your true self," the evergreen said. "But be warned, young one, for the truth is not always easy to face. If you are worthy, you will find the strength to overcome your fears and doubts. If not, you will be consumed by them." Leo took a deep breath and knelt by the mirror. As he gazed into the water, his reflection began to change. He saw himself as he truly was, both the good and the bad. He saw his kindness and bravery, but also his fears, doubts, and moments of selfishness. For a moment, Leo felt overwhelmed by the flaws he saw in himself. But then he remembered the nightingale's song, the gift of the willow tree, and the lessons he had learned on his journey. He realized that no one was perfect, and that true strength came from accepting one's flaws and striving to be better. Leo closed his eyes and took a deep breath. When he opened them again, his reflection had returned to normal. The mirror rippled, and then the water turned clear once more. The evergreen smiled, its eyes filled with pride. "You have done well, young one," the evergreen said. "You have faced the truth of your heart and found the strength to overcome it. You are worthy of the hidden garden's wish." The wish. Leo stood before the evergreen, his heart filled with gratitude and wonder. The garden around him seemed to glow with a soft, golden light, and the air was filled with the scent of flowers and the sound of the nightingale's song. "You may make your wish," the evergreen said. "But remember, young one, that the greatest power lies not in what we wish for, but in how we choose to live our lives." Leo thought for a moment, and then he smiled. "I wish for the hidden garden to always be protected, so that it may bring hope and beauty to those who seek it," he said. "And I wish that the wisdom I have gained here will stay with me, so that I may share it with others." The evergreen smile widened, and the garden seemed to shimmer with approval. "Your wish is granted, young one," the evergreen said. "The hidden garden will remain a place of beauty and magic, and the wisdom you have gained will guide you on your journey. Go now, and share your light with the world." With a heart full of joy, Leo thanked the evergreen and left the hidden garden. He returned to his village, where he shared the wisdom and kindness he had learned on his journey. The village prospered, and Leo became known as the guardian of the forest, a boy who had found the hidden garden and brought its light to the world. And every now and then, when the sun set and the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Leo would return to the forest and visit the hidden garden, knowing that it would always be there, a place of beauty and hope for all who sought it. The end. Once upon a time, in a charming village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there was a legend of a magical garden that only appeared at midnight. This garden, known as the Midnight Garden, was said to be the source of extraordinary beauty and wonder. The villagers spoke of it in hushed tones, for it was believed to grant one heartfelt wish to those who discovered it. In this village lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Eloan. She had always been enchanted by the tales of the Midnight Garden, but despite her efforts, she had never managed to find it. Every year, on the night of the summer solstice, Eloan would venture into the forest, hoping to uncover the garden's secret. One summer solstice night, as the moon rose high and cast a silver glow over the land, Eloan set out once more. This year, she carried a lantern made from enchanted glass, a gift from her grandmother who had once told her that it would guide her through the darkest of paths. The forest was alive with the sounds of crickets and the gentle rustling of leaves. Eloan walked quietly, her lantern casting a warm, reassuring light. As midnight approached, she followed a trail of faint, sparkling fireflies that seemed to lead deeper into the forest. Suddenly, the lantern's light began to flicker and shine more brightly. Eloan noticed a soft, melodious tune drifting through the air. Guided by the music, she came upon a hidden clearing. There, surrounded by a circle of ancient trees, was the Midnight Garden. The garden was breathtakingly beautiful. Flowers with petals that shimmered like stardust bloomed under the moonlight, and trees with silver leaves swayed gracefully. In the center of the garden stood a grand, crystal fountain, its water sparkling like liquid diamonds. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the gentle hum of the garden's magic. Eloan approached the fountain, her heart full of wonder. As she neared, she saw a small, delicate fairy hovering above the water. The fairy had wings that glowed like the moon, and she was weaving a magical spell. "Welcome to the Midnight Garden," the fairy said, her voice like a gentle breeze. "I am Lyra, the guardian of this enchanted place. To receive the gift of the garden, you must first prove your heart's true wish." Eloan nodded. "I wish to help my village. We are struggling with a terrible drought, and our crops are failing." Lyra's eyes sparkled with understanding. "Your wish is selfless and pure. To grant it, you must complete a quest. In the garden lies a hidden grove where the heart flower blooms. It is the key to restoring life and prosperity. Find it, and your village's drought will be relieved." With determination, Eloan set off to find the heart flower. She wandered through the garden, her lantern illuminating the path. She encountered various challenges along the way, a maze of tall, whispering grasses that required solving a riddle to pass, and a grove of thorny vines that only parted when Eloan demonstrated kindness by helping a lost baby bird. Finally, Eloan reached the hidden grove. In its center was a magnificent flower with petals that glowed like the first light of dawn. The heart flower was surrounded by a soft, golden aura, and its scent was the sweetest Eloan had ever encountered. As she carefully picked the heart flower, Lyra appeared beside her. "You have proven your worth and true heart. The magic of the heart flower will go to your village and bring relief to its drought." With the heart flower in hand, Eloan returned to her village. As she approached, the villagers gathered around, their faces filled with hope and curiosity. Eloan placed the heart flower in the village's dry well, and as its petals touched the water, a miracle occurred. The well began to fill with crystal clear water, and soon, the entire village's land was bathed in nourishing rain. The crops thrived, the fields turned lush and green, and the villagers celebrated with joy and gratitude. They honored Eloan for her bravery and selflessness, and the legend of the Midnight Garden became a cherished story of hope and magic. As for Eloan, she continued to explore and care for her village, always guided by the lessons she learned in the Midnight Garden. The enchanted lantern she carried became a symbol of the light that guides us through our darkest times, and the village prospered under the blessings of the garden's magic. And so, the village lived happily ever after, forever touched by the magic of the Midnight Garden in the heart of a brave young girl who wished for the well-being of others. Once upon a time, in the quaint village of Greenvale, there was a small, serene brook that wound its way through the forest. The brook was known as the Whispering Brook because, on quiet nights, its waters would carry soft, melodic whispers that told stories and secrets from the past. The villagers revered the brook and believed it held ancient wisdom. However, as the years passed, the whispers grew fainter, and the brook began to dry up. The once crystal-clear waters became murky, and the villagers feared that they were losing a cherished part of their heritage. Among the villagers was a kind and adventurous girl named Elara. She had always been enchanted by the whispers of the brook and felt a deep connection to it. Determined to restore the brook to its former glory, Elara decided to embark on a quest to uncover the source of the whispers and revive its magic. One evening, guided by the soft glow of the setting sun, Elara followed the brook upstream into the heart of the forest. She came across a hidden grove where the trees seemed to hum with a faint, magical resonance. At the center of the grove was an ancient stone pedestal with an intricately carved inscription, "To restore the whispers, seek the heart of the forest." Elara looked around and spotted a small, luminescent flower growing near the pedestal. As she touched the flower, a gentle, shimmering light enveloped the grove, and a wise old creature appeared. It was a gentle fawn with eyes that sparkled like stars. "Greetings, Elara," the fawn said in a melodious voice. "I am Nym, the guardian of the heart of the forest. To find the heart and restore the whispers, you must complete 3 tasks. Each task will test your courage, kindness, and wisdom." Elara nodded, ready to take on the challenges. Nym led her to the first task, the trial of courage. She had to cross the misty gorge, a deep chasm shrouded in thick fog. The only way across was a fragile-looking bridge made of vines and twigs. Elara took a deep breath and carefully made her way across the bridge, her heart steady and her steps sure. The bridge held firm, and she reached the other side safely. The second task was the trial of kindness. Elara found a group of lost fireflies flitting helplessly in the dark. Their light was dim, and they were unable to find their way back to their home. Elara gently gathered the fireflies in her hands and used her kindness to soothe them. She sang a soft lullaby, and as her warm, caring presence filled the air, the fireflies regained their strength and guided her to the next challenge. The final task was the trial of wisdom. Nym led Elara to a glimmering pool in the heart of the forest, where a golden key lay submerged beneath the water. To retrieve it, Elara had to solve a riddle posed by the pool's reflection. The riddle was, "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Elara thought carefully and realized the answer was fire. She spoke the answer aloud, and the golden key floated to the surface. She retrieved the key and thanked the pool for its guidance. With the golden key in hand, Elara returned to the ancient stone pedestal. The pedestal's inscription began to glow with a soft, warm light. Elara placed the key into a hidden slot, and the pedestal opened, revealing a hidden chamber filled with vibrant, glowing crystals. As Elara entered the chamber, she saw the heart of the forest, a radiant crystal that pulsed with a gentle, soothing light. She approached the crystal and, with a heart full of gratitude, gently touched it. The crystal's light spread throughout the forest, revitalizing the whispering brook. The waters flowed once more, clear and sparkling, and the whispers returned, carrying stories and secrets through the village. The brook's magic was restored, and the villagers rejoiced as the soft melodies filled their hearts with joy and wonder. Elara returned to Greenvale as a hero, celebrated for her bravery, kindness, and wisdom. The Whispering Brook became even more cherished than before, its whispers now more vivid and full of life. And so, the tale of Elara's adventure became a cherished story in Greenvale, a reminder of the magic that lies in courage, kindness, and wisdom, and the power of a heart that listens to the whispers of the world. Once upon a time, on a rugged coast where the sea met the land with a mighty roar, there stood a lighthouse unlike any other. This lighthouse was known as the Enchanted Lighthouse, and it was said to have magical powers that could guide lost sailors safely to shore and grant one true wish to anyone who proved themselves worthy. In a quaint village nearby, there lived a young girl named Clara. Clara had a heart full of dreams and a spirit of adventure. She loved to listen to the tales of the Enchanted Lighthouse and often wondered about the magical wish it was said to grant. Her father was a fisherman, and their family struggled to make ends meet. Clara's greatest wish was to bring prosperity and joy to her family and village. One stormy night, a fierce tempest struck the coast. The winds howled, and the waves crashed violently against the shore. Clara's father and other fishermen were out at sea, battling the storm to return home. The lighthouse, usually a beacon of hope, seemed to be shrouded in darkness as the storm raged on. Determined to save her father and the other fishermen, Clara decided she would visit the Enchanted Lighthouse and seek its magic to guide the sailors safely back. With a brave heart and a lantern in hand, she set out into the stormy night. The journey to the lighthouse. As Clara approached the lighthouse, the storm seemed to grow fiercer. Lightning flashed, illuminating the towering structure, and the wind howled with a voice of its own. Despite the harsh weather, Clara pressed on, her determination unwavering. When she reached the lighthouse, she found the door locked and covered in magical symbols. Clara took a deep breath and touched the symbols, trying to remember the tales she had heard about the lighthouse's magic. the story spoke of a challenge that needed to be met with courage and a pure heart. A soft, ethereal voice echoed from the lighthouse. To enter, you must solve the riddle of the storm. Only then will the magic be revealed. The voice spoke a riddle that seemed to blend with the howling wind. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but I need water to live. What am I? Clara thought deeply as the storm continued its fury. Her mind raced through the riddles she had heard in her childhood. Finally, she realized the answer. A cloud, she called out. The lighthouse door creaked open, and Clara stepped inside. The interior was warm and glowing, filled with shimmering lights that danced like stars. Inside the inside of the lighthouse was filled with magical objects and glowing orbs. In the center stood a grand, ancient book that seemed to radiate a soft light. Clara approached the book, which opened on its own, revealing a page with a simple request: make your wish. Clara looked at the book and closed her eyes. She thought of her family, the struggling villagers, and the storm that threatened their lives. I wish for the storm to end, for the safety of my father and the fishermen, and for prosperity to return to our village, she whispered. As she spoke her wish, a brilliant light filled the lighthouse, and the storm outside began to calm. The rain softened, the wind eased, and the dark clouds began to clear. The lighthouse's beam shone brightly, cutting through the storm and guiding the fishermen safely back to shore. When Clara returned to the village, she found the storm had passed, and the villagers were celebrating the safe return of the fishermen. Her father, tired but safe, embraced Clara with relief and pride. The village was alive with joy, and the once ravaged land began to show signs of new growth. Clara's wish had not only saved the fishermen but had also brought a bountiful harvest to the village. The crops thrived, the fish were plentiful, and the village's fortunes turned around. Clara's bravery and selflessness had made a profound difference. A new legend, the tale of Clara's bravery, spread throughout the land. The enchanted lighthouse became a symbol of hope and courage, and its story was told to inspire others. The villagers thrived, and Clara grew up to be a wise and beloved leader, always remembered for her unwavering heart and her act of true selflessness. The lighthouse continued to stand tall, its light shining brightly over the coast, a beacon for lost souls and a reminder of the magic that lives within the heart of those who dare to dream and act with courage. And so, the village lived in peace and prosperity, guided by the light of the enchanted lighthouse and the legacy of Clara's brave heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the sun always set in hues of gold and lavender, there was a quaint village named Willowbrook. Nestled between rolling hills and lush meadows, Willowbrook was a place of peace and harmony, known for its grand willow tree at the village square. The willow tree was said to be enchanted, and its gentle whispers were believed to hold secrets of wisdom and magic. In Willowbrook lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was adventurous and curious, always eager to explore the woods and fields surrounding the village. He often sat by the willow tree, listening to its rustling leaves and dreaming of far-off lands. Finn's favorite story was about the lost star, a magical star that had once lit up the skies but had vanished long ago. Legend said that whoever found the lost star would be granted a single wish. One crisp autumn morning, as the golden leaves fell from the trees, Finn noticed something unusual near the base of the willow tree, a small, glimmering stone half buried in the ground. Finn picked it up and saw that it was a star-shaped gem with a soft, pulsating glow. Excitedly, he showed it to Elder Miriam, the village storyteller. Elder Miriam's eyes widened in recognition. "This is the Star of Dreams," she said. "It's said to be a clue to finding the lost star. If you have it, you may be the one destined to restore the light." Determined to uncover the mystery, Finn set out on a quest to find the lost star. Guided by the star-shaped gem, he ventured into the Whispering Woods, a place known for its magical creatures and hidden paths. As Finn walked deeper into the woods, he encountered a wise old fox named Ember. Ember had shimmering fur and a knowing gaze. "I see you carry the Star of Dreams," Ember said. "To find the lost star, you must complete 3 trials. The first trial was to find the Path of Echoes, a hidden trail that only appeared under the light of the full moon. With Ember's guidance, Finn waited until the moon was full and discovered the path, lined with glowing mushrooms that led him to a shimmering lake. At the lake, Finn met the Lake Guardian, a graceful water sprite named Naiad. "To pass this trial, you must show true courage," Naiad said. She pointed to a chest submerged in the lake's depths. "Retrieve the key of light from the chest without fear." With a deep breath, Finn dove into the cool, clear water. As he reached the chest, he found it locked with an intricate mechanism. Using his wits and courage, he solved the puzzle and retrieved the key of light, which shone brightly in his hand. Naiad smiled and granted him passage to the next trial. The second trial took Finn to the Mountain of Echoes, where he had to find the enchanted mirror hidden in a cave. The mirror showed not only reflections but also the truth within one's heart. Inside the cave, Finn faced his fears and insecurities reflected in the mirror. He bravely confronted them, showing that he was not only courageous but also honest and true to himself. The mirror revealed the path to the enchanted crown, which Finn took as a symbol of his accomplishment. The final trial led Finn to the Valley of Whispers, where he had to solve a riddle spoken by the wind spirit. The riddle was, "I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I?" Finn pondered the riddle and answered, "A map." The wind spirit, pleased with his answer, guided him to a hidden glade where the lost star lay, glowing faintly beneath a blanket of leaves. Finn gently picked up the lost star, feeling its warmth and light. As he held it, the star's glow grew brighter, filling the valley with a dazzling light. The lost star's light spread throughout the land, restoring the beauty and magic of the Whispering Woods. With the lost star's magic restored, Finn returned to Willowbrook as a hero. The village celebrated his bravery and wisdom, and the willow tree's whispers grew even more magical. Finn made a single wish, to share the lost star's light with the world, so that everyone could experience its wonder. And so, the lost star continued to shine brightly in the skies, bringing hope and joy to all. Finn's adventure became a beloved tale in Willowbrook, and his courage and kindness were remembered for generations. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between emerald forests and sparkling seas, there lived a kind and curious young girl named Seraphina. She lived in the quaint village of Glenshire, a place where every tree seemed to whisper secrets and every brook sang psalms of old. Glenshire was known for its beautiful moonlit grove, a mystical forest that glowed softly under the light of the full moon. It was said that the moonlit grove was protected by ancient magic, and that within its depths lay a secret that could grant the pure of heart a single, extraordinary wish. One night, as the full moon bathed the village in its silvery glow, Seraphina's grandmother, Nana Alara, told her a story. Long ago, Nana Alara began, a great sorceress named Luna cast a spell upon the grove. She hid the moonstone, a gem of immense power, within the heart of the forest. Only one who is pure of heart and brave of spirit can find it and unlock its magic. Seraphina listened with wide eyes, her heart racing with excitement. She loved her village dearly and often wished she could do something grand to help her people. That night, she made a decision. She would find the moonstone and use its power to bring everlasting prosperity to Glenshire. The next morning, Seraphina packed a small satchel with essentials, a loaf of bread, a flask of water, a warm cloak, and a locket that had once belonged to her mother. She kissed Nana Alara goodbye and set off towards the moonlit grove, her heart filled with determination. As she entered the forest, the trees seemed to part, welcoming her into their magical realm. The air was cool and fragrant with the scent of blooming night flowers. The light of the full moon filtered through the canopy, creating a path of silver light that Seraphina followed. Deep within the grove, Seraphina encountered a majestic stag with antlers that shimmered like stardust. The stag regarded her with wise, gentle eyes. "I am Astral, guardian of the moonlit grove," he said in a deep, melodic voice. "What brings you here, child of the village?" Seraphina bowed respectfully. "I seek the moonstone to help my village. I wish to use its magic to bring prosperity to our land." Astral nodded thoughtfully. Your heart is pure, and your intentions are noble. But to find the Moonstone, you must prove your worth by passing 3 trials: the trial of courage, the trial of wisdom, and the trial of compassion. Seraphina agreed without hesitation. Astral led her to a clearing where the first trial awaited. For the trial of courage, he explained, you must face your deepest fear. As he spoke, the clearing darkened, and a shadowy figure emerged from the trees. It was a fearsome wolf with glowing red eyes, representing Seraphina's fear of the unknown. She trembled but stood her ground, remembering Nana Alara's words, true courage is not the absence of fear but the triumph over it. Summoning all her bravery, Seraphina faced the wolf and said, I am not afraid of you. I seek the Moonstone for the good of my village. The wolf growled but then vanished into the night, and the clearing brightened once more. Astral smiled. You have passed the trial of courage. Now, for the trial of wisdom. He led her to a grove filled with ancient trees whose leaves shimmered with hidden runes. In the center stood a grand oak with a hollow trunk. Inside this tree lies a puzzle. Solve it to prove your wisdom. Seraphina entered the hollow and found a series of runes carved into the wood. She realized they formed a riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? She pondered for a moment, then remembered a similar riddle from a story Nana Alara had told her. An echo, she whispered, and the runes glowed brightly, revealing a hidden passage that led her back to Astral. You have passed the trial of wisdom, Astral said. Now, for the final trial, the trial of compassion. He led her to a glade where a wounded fox lay whimpering in pain, a thorn stuck in its paw. Without hesitation, Seraphina knelt beside the fox. She gently removed the thorn and used a strip of her cloak to bandage the wound. The fox looked at her with gratitude and licked her hand before scampering away into the forest. Astral nodded approvingly. You have shown courage, wisdom, and compassion. You are worthy of the Moonstone. Follow me. He led her to the heart of the grove, where a small, crystalline pond glowed with an ethereal light. At its center lay the Moonstone, radiating a soft, mesmerizing glow. Seraphina approached the pond and carefully picked up the gem. As she held it in her hands, she felt a surge of warmth and magic flow through her. Make your wish, Seraphina, Astral said. With her heart full of love for her village, Seraphina closed her eyes and made her wish. I wish for Glenshire to flourish with abundance, happiness, and harmony. The Moonstone glowed brightly, and its magic spread through the grove, across the village, and throughout the land. Trees bore fruit, rivers flowed with crystal-clear water, and the villagers felt a renewed sense of joy and prosperity. Seraphina returned to Glenshire, where she was greeted with cheers and celebrations. Nana Alara hugged her tightly, proud of her granddaughter's bravery and selflessness. The story of Seraphina's journey spread far and wide, and the villagers lived in peace and plenty, forever grateful for her courage. From that day on, the moonlit grove remained a place of wonder and magic, protected by the spirit of the Moonstone and the legacy of the brave girl who had found it. And so, under the light of the full moon and the guardianship of Astral, the kingdom of Valoria lived happily ever after. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the mystical land of Astralis, there was a village surrounded by sparkling meadows and a shimmering lake. The village was renowned for its beauty and serenity, but there was one thing that made it truly special, a glowing pendant known as the Starlight Pendant, which was said to hold the power to guide lost souls and bring hope to those in despair. The pendant was kept in a grand, ancient tower at the edge of the village, and it was guarded by an enigmatic figure named Seraphina. Seraphina was known for her wisdom and her ability to communicate with the stars. She was entrusted with the pendant and ensured its light never dimmed. One day, a young boy named Leo, who lived in the village, noticed that the pendant's glow had started to fade. Leo was a curious and kind-hearted boy who loved exploring the forests and meadows around his home. Seeing the pendant's light weakening, he became worried about what it might mean for his village, which had always relied on its light for guidance and hope. Determined to restore the pendant's brilliance, Leo decided to seek out Seraphina. he made his way to the ancient tower, where he found Seraphina studying the stars through a telescope. "Greetings, Leo," Seraphina said, her voice gentle and kind. "I see you have noticed the pendant's fading light." Leo nodded. "Yes, I'm worried about what might happen if the pendant loses its light. Is there a way to restore it?" Seraphina explained that the starlight pendant drew its power from a rare celestial event known as the luminous convergence, which occurred once every 100 years. The pendant's light would fade if the event was not properly harnessed. To restore its brilliance, Leo needed to collect 3 magical star fragments scattered across the land: the radiant gem, the twilight crystal, and the dawn shard. Without hesitation, Leo set off on his quest. His first destination was the Gleaming Cavern, where the radiant gem was said to be hidden. The cavern was a maze of glittering crystals and hidden passages. As Leo navigated the cavern, he encountered a mischievous sprite named Twink who tried to lead him astray with illusions. Using his wit and persistence, Leo saw through the sprite's tricks and followed the true path. Eventually, he found the radiant gem embedded in a crystal formation, its light shining brightly. Twink, impressed by Leo's determination, gave him a blessing for his journey. Next, Leo traveled to the enchanted forest, where the twilight crystal was hidden. The forest was filled with glowing mushrooms and softly singing creatures. Leo had to solve a series of riddles posed by the forest's magical inhabitants to find the crystal. After answering the riddles with wisdom and patience, Leo discovered the twilight crystal hidden beneath a glowing tree. The crystal's soft, calming light filled the forest with a gentle radiance. Finally, Leo journeyed to the summit of Dawn, where the Dawn Shard was said to be guarded by an ancient dragon. The summit was a treacherous climb, but Leo's courage and determination kept him going. At the top, he found the dragon, who was initially wary of Leo's approach. Leo approached the dragon with respect and kindness, explaining his quest and his intention to restore the starlight pendant's light. The dragon, moved by Leo's sincerity, allowed him to take the Dawn Shard, which glowed with a warm, golden light. With all 3 star fragments in hand, Leo returned to the ancient tower. He found Seraphina waiting with the starlight pendant, which was now faint and dim. Leo placed the radiant gem, twilight crystal, and Dawn Shard in their respective places on the pendant. As he did so, the pendant's light began to shine with a brilliant, celestial glow. The light grew stronger and brighter, filling the tower and the village with a warm, hopeful radiance. The pendant's magic was restored, and the village of Astralis once again bathed in its enchanting light. Seraphina thanked Leo for his bravery and perseverance. The pendant's light became a beacon of hope and guidance for the village, and the luminous convergence was celebrated as a time of renewal and joy. Leo's adventure became a cherished tale in Astralis, a story of courage, determination, and the power of hope. He continued to explore and help others, knowing that the light of the starlight pendant would always guide him and his village through the darkest times. And so, the land of Astralis thrived under the pendant's glowing light, a reminder of the magic that exists in every corner of the world and the heroes who restore it. Once upon a time, in a serene kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and sparkling lakes, there was a quaint village known as Luminera. Luminera was famous for its beautiful, moonlit nights and its enchanting melodies that seemed to drift through the air every evening. The villagers believed that these melodies were a gift from the moon itself, meant to bring peace and joy to all who heard them. In this village lived a young girl named Lyra, who had a special gift. She could play any instrument she touched with a magical touch that made the music truly mesmerizing. Despite her talent, Lyra was shy and rarely performed publicly. She spent her evenings under the old willow tree at the edge of the village, playing soft, soothing tunes to herself. One evening, as the full moon cast its silvery light over Luminera, Lyra noticed something strange. The melodies that usually filled the air were missing, replaced by an eerie silence. The moon itself seemed dimmer than usual. Concerned, Lyra decided to investigate and discovered that the village's beloved moonstone, a mystical gem said to enhance the moon's magic, had disappeared from its place atop the village's ancient tower. Determined to restore the village's melodies and the moon's light, Lyra set out on a journey to find the moonstone. The villagers had always spoken of a hidden grove deep in the enchanted forest, where magical creatures lived and secrets were kept. Lyra believed that if anyone knew about the missing moonstone, it would be the inhabitants of this mysterious grove. As she ventured into the forest, Lyra encountered several magical beings: a wise old fox, a playful squirrel, and a gentle deer. Each creature gave her a clue to guide her way. The fox advised her to follow the light of the moon's reflection on the river. The squirrel suggested listening to the whispers of the trees, and the deer pointed her towards a hidden path marked by moonflowers. Following these clues, Lyra arrived at the hidden grove, which was bathed in a soft, ethereal glow. In the center of the grove stood a grand, ancient tree with branches stretching towards the sky. At the base of the tree, Lyra found the moonstone, but it was surrounded by a shimmering barrier of light. To retrieve the moonstone, Lyra realized she needed to play a melody that resonated with the moon's magic. She took out her lute and began to play a soft, enchanting tune. As the music flowed from her fingers, the barrier began to shimmer and dance in harmony with the melody. The light surrounding the moonstone grew brighter, and the stone itself began to float towards Lyra. When the moonstone was finally in her hands, a radiant glow filled the grove, and the moonlight became brighter and more beautiful than ever before. The moonstone's magic enhanced Lyra's music, and the melodies that once filled Luminera returned, more enchanting than ever. With the moonstone safely returned to its place atop the village's tower, the village of Luminera celebrated. The moonlit nights were even more magical, and the melodies played by Lyra resonated throughout the kingdom, bringing peace and joy to everyone who heard them. Lyra, once shy and reserved, found her confidence in sharing her music with the world. Her melodies became a symbol of hope and harmony, and she continued to play under the moonlit sky, creating music that touched the hearts of all who listened. And so, the tale of Lyra and the moonlit melody became a cherished story in Luminera, a reminder of the magic that lies in each of us and the power of sharing our gifts with the world. Once upon a time, in a village nestled at the edge of an enchanted forest, there lived a young girl named Mira. Mira had a special gift: she could weave dreams into beautiful tapestries. Every night, she would sit by her loom, and as she wove, the dreams she captured would come to life in shimmering threads of gold and silver. The villagers adored Mira's tapestries. They brought hope and joy, filling their homes with dreams of adventure, peace, and wonder. But there was one dream that Mira had never been able to weave: the dream of the Starlight Weaver, an ancient legend that spoke of a magical tapestry woven from the light of the stars. One evening, as Mira worked by the light of a crescent moon, she heard a soft whisper in the wind. "Seek the Starlight Weaver, and your greatest dream shall come true." Determined to unravel the mystery, Mira set out the next morning to find the legendary Starlight Weaver. She ventured into the enchanted forest, guided by the whispers of the wind and the sparkle of the twilight. The forest was alive with magic. Glowing fireflies danced around her, and trees whispered secrets of old. After walking for hours, Mira reached a clearing where a magnificent tree stood, its branches adorned with twinkling lights that shimmered like stars. At the base of the tree was a small door. Mira knocked gently, and the door creaked open to reveal a cozy room filled with threads of every color imaginable. At the loom sat an elderly woman with silver hair and eyes like stardust. She was the Starlight Weaver. "Welcome, Mira," the Starlight Weaver said warmly. "I have been expecting you." Mira's heart skipped a beat. "You know my name?" The Starlight Weaver smiled. "I know of your gift and your quest. You seek to weave the tapestry of starlight." Mira nodded. "Yes. I want to weave a dream that will bring hope and wonder to the world." The Starlight Weaver gestured to a loom covered in threads of pure, shimmering light. "To weave the tapestry of starlight, you must gather the light of 5 different stars: the star of hope, the star of courage, the star of joy, the star of wisdom, and the star of love." Mira's eyes widened. "But how will I find them?" The Starlight Weaver handed her a small, enchanted compass. "This compass will guide you to each star. Follow its light, and it will lead you to your destination." With a heart full of hope, Mira set out on her quest. The compass glowed softly, guiding her through the forest and beyond. her first stop was the Mountain of Hope. There, Mira climbed to the highest peak and found a star shining brightly in the morning sky. It was the Star of Hope. As she touched it, the star's light infused her with a sense of determination. Next, Mira traveled to the Valley of Courage, where the winds howled fiercely. She faced the trials of the valley, showing bravery and strength. At the end of her journey, she discovered the Star of Courage, which bathed her in a warm, encouraging glow. In the Meadow of Joy, Mira danced with the playful fairies and sang with the birds. The Star of Joy twinkled overhead. And as Mira reached out, its light filled her with a sense of boundless happiness. The fourth star was hidden in the Forest of Wisdom, where Mira solved riddles and learned ancient truths from wise old creatures. At the heart of the forest, she found the Star of Wisdom, its light shimmering with profound insight. Finally, Mira ventured to the heart of the enchanted lake, where the Star of Love floated gently on the water. As she touched the star, its light embraced her with a deep, comforting warmth. With all 5 stars collected, Mira returned to the Starlight Weaver. The old woman guided her in weaving the magical tapestry. Mira worked tirelessly, her loom glowing with the combined light of the stars. The tapestry took shape, a breathtaking work of art that shimmered with hope, courage, joy, wisdom, and love. When the tapestry was complete, the Starlight Weaver presented it to Mira. "You have created a masterpiece," she said. "This tapestry will inspire and bring light to all who see it." Mira thanked the Starlight Weaver and returned to her village, carrying the tapestry with great pride. The villagers marveled at its beauty and were filled with a renewed sense of wonder and hope. The tapestry was hung in the village square, and its light reached every corner of the land. Mira's gift continued to bring joy and inspiration to everyone who gazed upon it. And so, the Starlight Weaver's legacy lived on through Mira's creation, a testament to the power of dreams and the magic of the stars. The end. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the reach of ordinary maps, there was a hidden kingdom known as Starlight. This kingdom was unique because it floated among the stars in the night sky. Its streets were made of stardust, its castles of moonlight, and its gardens were filled with glowing flowers that bloomed only under the celestial canopy. The ruler of Starlight was a wise and gentle queen named Seraphina. She had a magical scepter that could command the stars and control the light of the moon. Under her reign, the kingdom thrived in peace and harmony, and its inhabitants, the starfolk, were happy and content. But one day, a dark shadow fell over Starlight. The light of the moon began to wane, and the once brilliant stars started to dim. The magic of the kingdom was fading, and the once vibrant gardens began to wither. Queen Seraphina, deeply worried, called upon her most trusted advisor, a wise old owl named Orion. Orion, with his feathers that sparkled like tiny constellations, advised the queen of an ancient prophecy: when the light of the kingdom fades, a brave soul must embark on a quest to restore it. They must find the lost star crystal, hidden in the depths of the celestial caverns. Only the pure-hearted can succeed in this quest. Queen Seraphina, although troubled, knew that the fate of her kingdom depended on this quest. She decided to seek out a hero who could undertake this journey. After careful consideration, she chose a young starfolk named Lyra. Lyra was known for her kindness, bravery, and unwavering spirit. She had always been curious about the world beyond the kingdom and had often dreamed of adventures among the stars. Lyra was honored and a bit nervous as she accepted the queen's request. She prepared for her journey by packing a small bag with essential supplies, a star map, a lantern made of moonlight, and a locket given to her by her mother that was said to protect its bearer from harm. As the night sky glittered with stars, Lyra set out on her journey. She followed the map Orion had given her, which led her to a shimmering portal hidden within the largest star in the sky. With a deep breath and a hopeful heart, Lyra stepped through the portal and into the celestial caverns. The celestial caverns were a vast network of glowing crystals and shimmering streams of stardust. The air was filled with a gentle hum, and the walls sparkled like 1,000 diamonds. As Lyra ventured deeper, she encountered the first challenge of her quest, a labyrinth of twisting tunnels and glowing illusions. To navigate the labyrinth, Lyra relied on her star map and the guidance of her lantern, which illuminated the correct path. She used her wits and intuition to avoid the illusions and find her way through the maze. With perseverance and patience, she reached the heart of the labyrinth, where the second challenge awaited. In the center of the cavern stood a massive stone door adorned with intricate carvings of stars and moons. The door was locked, and a riddle was inscribed upon it. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Lyra pondered the riddle and thought about the nature of the celestial caverns. After a moment, she realized the answer: fire. She spoke the word aloud, and the stone door slowly creaked open, revealing the final challenge. Inside, Lyra found the star crystal resting upon a pedestal of stardust. However, the crystal was surrounded by a swirling vortex of dark energy. To retrieve the crystal, Lyra needed to dispel the darkness. With determination, Lyra took out the locket her mother had given her and held it up towards the vortex. The locket began to glow with a warm, soothing light that pushed back the darkness. As the dark energy dissipated, the star crystal became accessible. Lyra carefully took the star crystal and felt its warm, pulsating energy. She knew that the journey back to Starlight would be just as challenging. As she made her way through the caverns, she noticed the crystals and streams of stardust shining more brightly, as if acknowledging her success. When Lyra returned to Starlight, the kingdom was still shrouded in dim light. She approached Queen Seraphina and presented the star crystal. The queen held the crystal up to the sky, and its light began to radiate across the kingdom. The darkness lifted, and the stars sparkled once more. The gardens bloomed with vibrant colors, and the magic of starlight was restored. The starfolk rejoiced, celebrating Lyra's bravery and the return of their kingdom's light. Queen Seraphina thanked Lyra for her courage and dedication, and the people of Starlight hailed her as a hero. Lyra's adventure became a legend among the stars, a tale of courage, perseverance, and the power of a pure heart. And so, the kingdom of Starlight continued to shine brightly in the night sky, a beacon of hope and magic for all who looked up and believed in the wonders of the universe. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by dense forests and rolling hills, there was a small, humble cottage owned by a kind woman named Elara. Elara was known for her generous spirit and her love for all living things. Her garden was always blooming, and animals from far and wide came to her for help. One evening, as the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the land, Elara was tending to her garden when she noticed a strange, golden light flickering among the flowers. Curious, she followed the light and discovered an old, dusty lantern buried under a pile of leaves. Elara carefully picked up the lantern and brushed off the dirt. The lantern was ornately decorated with intricate patterns of stars and moons. It seemed to hum softly in her hands, as if it held a secret. As she brought the lantern inside and placed it on her mantle, the golden light grew brighter. With a soft click, the lantern's door opened, and out floated a tiny, shimmering fairy. The fairy's wings sparkled like diamonds, and her smile was as warm as sunlight. "Thank you for freeing me," the fairy said with a voice as gentle as a summer breeze. "I am Leora, the guardian fairy of wishes. For freeing me, I will grant you one wish." Elara was amazed but also a bit puzzled. She thought about what she might wish for. She had everything she needed and wanted nothing for herself. After a moment's reflection, she said, "I wish for a way to help everyone in our village." Leora's eyes twinkled, and she waved her wand, sending a burst of sparkling light into the lantern. "Your wish is granted. This lantern will now shine with a magical light that can bring joy and aid to those in need. But remember, the light only works if the heart behind it is pure." With that, Leora vanished back into the lantern, leaving Elara with a sense of wonder and responsibility. The next day, a storm hit the village, leaving the villagers in a state of disarray. Homes were damaged, and spirits were low. Elara knew this was the time to use the lantern's magic. She carried the lantern through the village, holding it high so that its warm, golden light could shine upon everyone. Wherever the light touched, flowers began to bloom, broken things were mended, and smiles appeared on the villagers' faces. The lantern's light spread joy and hope, transforming the village into a place of renewed happiness. But as the days went by, Elara noticed something even more magical. The lantern's light began to reveal hidden talents in the villagers. The blacksmith, who had always been gruff, found joy in creating beautiful sculptures. The baker, once shy, discovered a talent for storytelling that brought laughter to the village. The lantern's light helped each person find their own unique gift and encouraged them to share it with others. One evening, as the village celebrated their newfound joy and prosperity, Elara noticed that the lantern's light had dimmed. She was concerned but remembered Leora's words about a pure heart. She knew that the lantern's magic depended on the kindness of the one who carried it. Elara thought deeply and realized that the true magic was not in the lantern itself but in the way it had brought the villagers together and helped them discover their own potential. She decided to pass the lantern on to someone else in need, trusting that its magic would continue to spread. As she prepared to hand over the lantern, Leora reappeared, her eyes shining with approval. "You have used the lantern's magic wisely, Elara. The light it gave was a reflection of your own kindness and generosity. Remember, the greatest magic of all is the kindness in your heart." Elara smiled and handed the lantern to a young woman who had just moved to the village. She hoped that the lantern would continue to bring joy and inspiration to others. And so, the village thrived, and the enchanted lantern continued its journey, lighting up the lives of those who needed it most. Elara's selflessness and the lantern's magic became a cherished story in the village, a reminder that true magic lies in the kindness we share with others. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in a faraway land known as Starlight Valley, there lived a young girl named Lyra. Starlight Valley was renowned for its brilliant night skies, where the stars shimmered like diamonds and seemed almost within reach. The valley's people believed that the stars were not just distant lights but the guardians of dreams and wishes. Among the villagers, Lyra was known for her deep fascination with the stars. Her father, an old stargazer, had told her stories about the Starcatcher, a mythical figure who could capture falling stars and make wishes come true. Lyra had always dreamed of becoming a starcatcher herself, but no one had seen one in many years, and the magic of the stars had become a distant memory for many. One crisp autumn night, while gazing at the sky, Lyra saw a shooting star fall from the heavens and land somewhere in the whispering woods that bordered the valley. She took it as a sign and decided to embark on a quest to find the fallen star and bring back its magic. Armed with a small satchel, a lantern, and her trusty compass, Lyra ventured into the whispering woods. The woods were alive with the sounds of chirping crickets and rustling leaves, and the path ahead was bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. As she ventured deeper, she encountered a wise old owl perched on a low branch. "Greetings, young seeker," the owl hooted. "To find the fallen star, you must first prove your worth. Solve this riddle to continue on your quest. I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I?" Lyra pondered for a moment and answered, "A map." The owl's eyes gleamed with approval. "You are correct. Follow the path of glowing mushrooms to find your next challenge." Lyra thanked the owl and followed the path of mushrooms, which led her to a tranquil glade. In the center of the glade stood an ancient stone archway, and beyond it was a shimmering pool of crystal-clear water. Guarding the pool was a graceful, silver-scaled fish with a golden tail. To retrieve the fallen star, the fish said, "You must show your true heart. To do so, you must answer this question. What is the one thing that grows stronger the more you give it away?" Lyra thought deeply and replied, "Friendship." The fish smiled and flicked its golden tail, causing the waters of the pool to part and reveal a hidden path. Lyra followed the path and arrived at a majestic, glowing cave where the star lay nestled in a bed of stardust. As Lyra approached the star, it began to speak in a soft, musical voice. "To release my magic, you must make a wish from your heart. But remember, true magic lies not in what you wish for yourself, but in what you wish for others." Lyra closed her eyes and thought about her village, which had faced many hardships and challenges. She made her wish for the well-being and happiness of everyone in Starlight Valley, hoping to bring joy and prosperity to her people. The star glowed brightly, and a wave of light spread from the cave, traveling across the valley. The night sky above Starlight Valley sparkled more brilliantly than ever, and the villagers awoke to find their lives transformed. The crops thrived, the river flowed with crystal-clear water, and a sense of harmony and joy enveloped the valley. When Lyra returned to her village, she was greeted with cheers and celebrations. The people marveled at the newfound prosperity and thanked Lyra for her bravery and selflessness. They celebrated her as a hero, and the tale of her quest became a beloved story passed down through generations. The star's magic continued to shine brightly in the night sky, a reminder of Lyra's noble wish and the power of selfless acts. Starlight Valley flourished, and the stars above seemed to shine even more brightly, guiding and inspiring all who looked up to them. And so, the kingdom of Starlight Valley thrived, with the magic of the stars and the kindness of a brave young girl bringing lasting happiness to the land. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between emerald mountains and a shimmering sea, there lived a humble weaver named Leora. Leora was known throughout her village for her exquisite tapestries that seemed to capture the very essence of dreams and magic. Her creations were not just beautiful but also carried an enchantment that brought joy and peace to all who beheld them. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky was painted with hues of orange and pink, a mysterious stranger arrived at Leora's doorstep. The stranger was cloaked in deep blue fabric that sparkled like the night sky. His eyes, though hidden beneath the hood, twinkled with a knowing light. "I have heard of your skill, Leora," the stranger said in a voice that seemed to carry the whisper of the winds. "I seek a tapestry woven not just from threads, but from the very essence of the stars themselves." Leora was intrigued. "Stars?" she asked. "I have heard of many magical things, but weaving the essence of stars sounds like a wondrous challenge. How can I capture something so vast and elusive?" The stranger smiled, and with a flourish, he produced a small, intricately carved box from within his cloak. "This box holds a piece of the night sky," he said. "It contains stardust that has the power to reveal the hidden patterns of the cosmos. If you can weave a tapestry using this stardust, it will grant you a single wish, but only if your heart is true." Leora accepted the box with great reverence and curiosity. That night, under the light of the full moon, she carefully opened the box. Inside, the stardust glowed softly, a shimmering blend of silver and deep blue. She took a deep breath and began her work, using her finest threads and her most delicate techniques to create the tapestry. As she wove, Leora felt a profound connection to the night sky. The patterns of stars and constellations seemed to guide her hands, and the tapestry began to take shape with a beauty beyond her imagination. She worked through the night, and by dawn, her tapestry was complete. It was a magnificent creation, with swirling galaxies, sparkling stars, and celestial patterns that seemed to dance and shift as if alive. The stardust embedded in the tapestry created a subtle glow, casting a serene light throughout her workshop. The stranger returned as promised, and upon seeing the tapestry, his eyes filled with admiration. "You have done it, Leora," he said. "The tapestry is a masterpiece, a true reflection of the cosmos. It is time for you to make your wish." Leora paused, considering the possibilities. She could wish for wealth, fame, or even eternal beauty. But as she looked at her creation, she realized that the real magic lay not in the wish itself but in the joy and fulfillment she had experienced through her craft. She turned to the stranger and said, "I wish for my village to be blessed with peace, prosperity, and happiness. I want my art to bring light and joy to others, just as it has done for me." The stranger smiled, his form glowing with a soft, celestial light. "Your wish is a testament to your heart's true nature. It shall be granted." With a wave of his hand, the stranger vanished, and the tapestry began to glow even brighter. The light spread throughout the village, and soon, the village flourished like never before. The fields yielded bountiful harvests, the villagers found renewed happiness, and the air was filled with a sense of harmony and contentment. Leora's tapestries became renowned far and wide, not just for their beauty, but for the warmth and magic they radiated. People traveled from distant lands to see her work, and each tapestry seemed to carry a piece of the enchantment that had touched the village. Years later, when Leora grew old and her time in the world came to an end, the village held a grand celebration in her honor. They adorned the streets with her tapestries, and the sky seemed to sparkle even more brightly as if paying tribute to the weaver who had captured the essence of the stars. And so, the legend of Leora, the Star Weaver, lived on. Her story was told to each new generation as a reminder that true magic lies in the selflessness and kindness of the heart, and that the light of a single star can brighten the darkest of nights. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far beyond the mountains, there was a village called Stardew, nestled in a valley where the sky seemed to touch the earth. The villagers lived simple, happy lives, tending to their crops and celebrating the beauty of nature. But the most extraordinary feature of Stardew was the Star Glade, a magical forest where stars would fall from the sky and transform into beautiful, glowing flowers. At the heart of the Star Glade, there stood an ancient oak tree, known as the Heart Tree, which was believed to be the source of all the magic in the valley. The Heart Tree was protected by a gentle but powerful guardian named Eldrin, a wise old elf who had watched over the glade for centuries. One peaceful night, a particularly bright star fell from the sky, landing gently at the base of the Heart Tree. As its light faded, the villagers gathered around, amazed to see a tiny, glowing child cradled in the roots of the tree. Eldrin approached the child and, sensing the magic within her, declared her to be a star child, destined for a great and important journey. The villagers named her Lyra, and she grew up with the love and care of the entire village. From an early age, Lyra displayed unique abilities. She could communicate with the animals, make plants grow with a touch, and even summon light to guide her through the dark. Eldrin became her mentor, teaching her about the magic of the glade and the importance of harmony with nature. One fateful evening, as Lyra celebrated her 12th birthday, a dark cloud loomed over Stardew. The villagers watched in fear as a figure emerged from the shadows, an ominous sorceress named Morwenna. Her eyes glowed with a sinister light, and her voice was as cold as the winter wind. "I have come for the Heart Tree," Morwenna declared. "With its power, I shall control all the magic of this land and plunge it into eternal darkness." Eldrin stepped forward, his staff glowing with protective magic. "You will not harm the Heart Tree, Morwenna. This land thrives on its light." Morwenna laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the valley. "We shall see, old elf. But know this, I will return with an army to claim what is mine." With a flick of her cloak, Morwenna vanished into the night, leaving the villagers in fear and uncertainty. Eldrin knew that Morwenna's threat was not idle. They had to protect the Heart Tree, but they also needed a way to counter Morwenna's dark magic. Lyra, brave and determined, stepped forward. "I will find a way to save the Heart Tree and our home. There must be something in the Star Glade that can help us." Eldrin nodded, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Your heart is pure, Lyra. Trust in the magic within you and the wisdom of the forest." With Eldrin's blessing, Lyra ventured into the depths of Star Glade. She traveled through enchanted groves and crossed shimmering streams, guided by the light of the stars. Along the way, she met many creatures who offered their help: a wise old owl named Sage, a mischievous fox named Rusty, and a gentle deer named Fawn. Together, they journeyed to the heart of the glade, where Lyra discovered an ancient scroll hidden in a hollow tree. The scroll contained a prophecy: when darkness threatens the heart of light, a star child born of heaven's flight must seek the crystal of dawn's embrace, to vanquish shadow and darkness erase. Sage, who could read the ancient language, explained that the crystal of dawn's embrace was a powerful artifact hidden in the crystal caves, located at the peak of the tallest mountain in the valley. It was said to have the power to dispel any dark magic. Determined to save her home, Lyra and her animal friends set off on the arduous journey to the crystal caves. They climbed steep cliffs, braved icy winds, and faced many challenges. Along the way, Lyra's courage and kindness won the hearts of many creatures, who joined her cause. After many days, they finally reached the crystal caves. Inside, the walls sparkled with countless crystals, casting a mesmerizing light. At the center of the cave, on a pedestal of pure quartz, lay the crystal of Dawn's embrace. Its light was warm and soothing, filling Lyra with hope. As she reached out to take the crystal, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. It was Morwenna, who had followed them to the cave. "You cannot escape me, little star child," she hissed. "The heart tree's power will be mine." Lyra stood her ground, holding the crystal tightly. "I will not let you harm my home, Morwenna." Morwenna's eyes blazed with anger as she unleashed a bolt of dark magic. But Lyra, with the crystal of Dawn's embrace in her hands, summoned a shield of pure light, deflecting the attack. The crystal's power surged through her, and she felt an ancient, celestial strength within her. With a shout of defiance, Lyra directed the crystal's light toward Morwenna, enveloping her in its radiant glow. The sorceress screamed as the light dispelled her dark magic, and in a flash, she was gone, banished from the land forever. Lyra and her friends returned to Stardew, the crystal of Dawn's embrace glowing brightly in her hands. The villagers rejoiced, and Eldrin welcomed her back with open arms. Lyra placed the crystal at the base of the heart tree, its light merging with the tree's magic, strengthening the bond between the land and the stars. From that day forward, Lyra was known as the Guardian of the Glade. She continued to protect and nurture the magic of the Star Glade, ensuring that the light of the heart tree would shine brightly for generations to come. And so, under the watchful gaze of the stars, the kingdom of Eldoria flourished, forever grateful to the brave star child who saved them all. And they all lived happily ever after. The princess and the stonecutter. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between towering mountains and flowing rivers, there was a kind and just king who ruled with wisdom and grace. The king had a beautiful daughter named Princess Isla, who was loved by all for her gentle heart and adventurous spirit. Despite her royal duties, Isla often slipped away from the castle to explore the forests, mountains, and villages of the kingdom. She loved nothing more than to learn about the lives of her people and to help them in any way she could. One day, while exploring a remote village at the foot of the mountains, Princess Isla came across a young stonecutter named Rowan. He was strong and skilled, known throughout the village for his ability to shape even the hardest stone into works of art. But despite his talent, Rowan was humble and lived a simple life, working from dawn until dusk to support his family. As Isla watched Rowan work, she noticed something peculiar. Every time Rowan struck his chisel against the stone, a small spark of light would flash, as if the stone itself were alive. Intrigued, Isla approached Rowan and asked him about his craft. Rowan looked up from his work and smiled. "These stones are special, Princess," he said. "They come from the heart of the mountain, where it is said that ancient magic still lingers. When I carve them, I can sometimes feel that magic flowing through my hands." Isla was fascinated. She had heard stories of the ancient magic in the mountains, but she had never seen it for herself. "What do you do with the stones once you've shaped them?" she asked. "I make many things," Rowan replied. "Statues, pillars, and sometimes even jewelry. But the most important thing I carve is the heartstone." "The heartstone?" Isla echoed, curious. "What is that?" Rowan stood up and wiped the sweat from his brow. "The heartstone is a tradition in our village. Every year, I carve a special stone in the shape of a heart and place it at the center of the village square. It is believed that as long as the heartstone remains whole, our village will be protected from harm." Isla was moved by the story. "May I see the heartstone?" she asked. Rowan nodded and led Isla to the village square. In the center of the square stood a large stone heart, polished to a gleaming finish. It radiated a soft, warm light, and Isla could feel the magic within it. The villagers had decorated the square with flowers and ribbons, and children played around the heartstone, laughing and singing. "It's beautiful," Isla said, her voice filled with awe. "You've done a wonderful thing for your village, Rowan." Rowan smiled modestly. "It's not just my work, Princess. The heartstone is a symbol of our unity and strength. As long as we stand together, the stone will remain strong." Isla spent the rest of the day in the village, getting to know the people and learning more about their traditions. She was so impressed by the stonecutter's skill and the villagers' sense of community that she decided to return to the castle and tell her father about what she had seen. That evening, as Isla dined with her father, she told him all about Rowan and the Heartstone. The king listened intently, and when Isla had finished, he nodded thoughtfully. "It is clear that the young stonecutter has great talent," the king said. "But more importantly, he understands the value of unity and hard work. I would like to meet him." The next day, the king and Princess Isla traveled to the village to meet Rowan. The king was impressed by Rowan's humility and skill, and after hearing about the Heartstone, he made a decision. "Rowan," the king said, "would like to commission you to create a Heartstone for the entire kingdom. It will be placed in the grand square of the capital, where it will symbolize the unity and strength of all our people." Rowan was honored by the request but also overwhelmed. "Your Majesty, it would be a great honor, but the magic in the stones from our village is special. I'm not sure if it will work in the capital." The king smiled kindly. "I believe the magic lies not just in the stone, but in the hands and heart of the one who shapes it. You have the talent, and with your skill, I have no doubt that you can create a Heartstone worthy of the entire kingdom." Encouraged by the king's words, Rowan agreed to take on the task. He worked tirelessly for weeks, selecting the finest stones from the mountains and carefully carving them into the shape of a heart. As he worked, he could feel the magic flowing through his hands, just as it had before, but this time it was even stronger. It was as if the hopes and dreams of the entire kingdom were being infused into the stone. When the Heartstone was finally complete, it was even more magnificent than the one in the village. It shone with a bright, pure light, and when Rowan touched it, he felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. The king and Princess Isla were overjoyed and they saw the finished Heartstone. It was placed in the grand square of the capital, where people from all corners of the kingdom came to see it. The Heartstone became a symbol of the kingdom's unity, and it was said that as long as it remained whole, the kingdom would be safe from any harm. Rowan was hailed as a hero, but he remained humble, always reminding people that the true magic came from their unity and strength. Princess Isla and Rowan became close friends, and she often visited him in his village to see how he was doing and to learn more about his craft. As the years passed, the kingdom prospered, and the Heartstone remained a shining symbol of peace and unity. And though the people celebrated Rowan for his great work, he always insisted that it was the love and support of his fellow villagers, and the encouragement of a kind princess, that had made the magic possible. And so, the kingdom lived on in peace and harmony, protected by the magic of the Heartstone and the unity of its people. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a cozy village surrounded by lush meadows and rolling hills, there stood an ancient willow tree at the edge of the forest. The villagers called it the Whispering Willow because it was said to grant wishes to those who truly needed help. In this village lived a young girl named Clara. Clara was kind-hearted and always helped her neighbors, but her own family was struggling. Her parents were ill, and her small garden, which provided their food, had failed to yield any crops for months. One crisp autumn evening, Clara decided to visit the Whispering Willow, hoping it could help her family. As she approached the towering tree, its branches swayed gently, even though there was no breeze. Clara stood quietly and closed her eyes, whispering her wish into the rustling leaves. "Oh, Whispering Willow, please help my family. We are in great need. I ask for your help to make our garden grow and for my parents to regain their strength." As Clara finished her plea, she felt a gentle hand touch her shoulder. She turned to see a small, elderly woman with twinkling eyes and a warm smile. "I am Willow, the guardian of this tree," the woman said softly. "I heard your wish, Clara. To help your family, you must first embark on a journey to find 3 magical items hidden in the forest. Only then will the Whispering Willow be able to grant your wish." Clara nodded, determined to help her family. Willow handed her a small, golden compass. "This will guide you on your journey. Follow its directions, and you will find what you seek." With the compass in hand, Clara ventured into the forest. The trees were thick, and the path was often hidden, but the compass glowed softly, guiding her through the forest. After a few hours, Clara came across a clearing where a sparkling pond lay. In the middle of the pond, on a small island, was a golden lily. Clara knew this was the first item she needed. She carefully crossed the pond on stepping stones and picked the golden lily, which shimmered brightly. As she continued her journey, the compass led Clara deeper into the forest, to a cave covered in glowing moss. Inside, a magical blue stone lay on a pedestal, surrounded by gently humming fireflies. Clara knew this was the second item. She carefully picked up the stone, and the fireflies danced around her in delight. Finally, the compass guided Clara to the heart of the forest, where an ancient oak tree stood. Hanging from its branches was a crystal-clear bottle filled with a glowing liquid. Clara understood this was the final item she needed. She gently took the bottle, feeling its warmth in her hands. With all three magical items secured, Clara made her way back to the Whispering Willow. Willow greeted her with a smile and took the items, placing them carefully at the base of the tree. The golden lily, the blue stone, and the glowing bottle are all that is needed, Willow said. Now, make your wish once more. Clara closed her eyes and repeated her wish for her family's well-being. As she spoke, the Whispering Willow's branches began to glow with a soft, golden light. The light spread across the village, bathing everything in a warm, soothing glow. The next morning, Clara returned home to find her parents feeling much better. The garden, once barren, was now full of lush, green vegetables and vibrant flowers. The village was abuzz with excitement, and the villagers marveled at the miraculous change. Clara's family was overjoyed, and they thanked Clara for her bravery and determination. The village celebrated with a grand feast, and the Whispering Willow was honored with a beautiful flower garden around its base. From that day on, Clara continued to help her neighbors, and her family thrived. The Whispering Willow remained a symbol of hope and magic, reminding everyone that kindness and perseverance could bring about the most wonderful changes. And so, Clara's days were filled with joy and gratitude, knowing that the magic of the Whispering Willow had touched her life and the lives of those she loved. Once upon a time, in the enchanting kingdom of Lyria, there was a mysterious forest known as the Whispering Woods. This forest was renowned for its ancient trees that were said to whisper secrets and for the legendary Whispering Willow, a majestic tree believed to grant one wish to those who approached it with a heart full of courage and kindness. The Whispering Willow was hidden deep within the forest and could only be found during the harvest moon, when the sky was lit by a golden glow. In a quaint village nestled on the edge of the forest lived a brave and kind-hearted girl named Clara. Clara was known for her love of animals and her adventurous spirit. Her closest companion was a wise and loyal owl named Orion, who had a knack for finding hidden paths and solving riddles. One crisp autumn evening, as the harvest moon began to rise, Clara and Orion discovered a golden, engraved compass hidden beneath a pile of colorful leaves. The compass had intricate designs and a note that read, "The Whispering Willow awaits. Follow the compass on the harvest moon to unlock its magic." Determined to find the Whispering Willow and make a wish, Clara and Orion set out on their journey. The path to the Whispering Woods was illuminated by the golden light of the harvest moon and the soft glow of fireflies. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they encountered the first challenge, the Grove of Echoes. In this grove, the trees echoed with mysterious whispers, and the path was obscured by thick fog. To proceed, Clara and Orion had to follow the echoes of a melodic tune that would lead them through the fog. Orion perched on Clara's shoulder and listened intently to the whispers, while Clara used the compass to guide them. They carefully followed the melody through the fog and soon emerged into a clear, moonlit clearing. The second challenge was the Bridge of Light. This was a shimmering bridge made of glowing strands of moonlight that spanned across a deep chasm. To cross the bridge, they needed to solve a puzzle by aligning the strands of light in a specific pattern. Clara and Orion worked together to arrange the strands according to the patterns they observed. As they completed the puzzle, the bridge's glow intensified, allowing them to safely cross the chasm and reach the final challenge. The last challenge was the Garden of Whispers. In this garden, the flowers were said to hold the secrets of the forest. To find the Whispering Willow, Clara and Orion had to answer a riddle posed by the garden's guardian, a gentle, ethereal spirit. I am not alive, but I can grow. I don't have eyes, but you can see me. I don't have a voice, but I can speak. What am I? Clara thought carefully and then answered, a shadow. The guardian smiled and the flowers in the garden began to glow, revealing a hidden path that led them to the Whispering Willow. At the center of the garden stood the magnificent Whispering Willow, its branches adorned with glowing leaves that rustled softly in the breeze. To make their wish, Clara and Orion needed to speak their true intentions with sincerity. Clara approached the tree and spoke from her heart, I wish for the happiness and prosperity of everyone in Lyria. I want to see our village and our land thrive with peace and joy. As Clara's wish was spoken, the Whispering Willow's branches glowed brightly, and a gentle, magical light spread throughout the forest and beyond. The golden light of the harvest moon seemed to shine even brighter, and the whispers of the forest carried Clara's wish across the land. When Clara and Orion returned to their village, they found it transformed. The fields were abundant with crops, the animals were healthy and joyful, and the people were filled with a deep sense of contentment and harmony. The story of Clara and Orion's adventure and the magic of the Whispering Willow became a beloved tale in Lyria. It reminded everyone of the importance of courage, kindness, and the power of selfless wishes. And so, the Whispering Woods continued to be a place of magic and wonder, where dreams and wishes came to life under the light of the harvest moon. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of the evergreen forest, there was a hidden village called Harmony Hollow. This village was renowned for its beautiful music, thanks to a magical harp that resided in the village square. The harp was said to have been crafted by the fairies themselves, and its music could soothe even the wildest of beasts and bring peace to the most troubled souls. The keeper of the harp was an elderly woman named Eloan. She had lived in Harmony Hollow for as long as anyone could remember and had a special bond with the harp. Every evening, she would play enchanting melodies that drifted through the forest, spreading calm and joy to all who heard it. One winter, a great storm swept through the land. The winds howled, the snow piled high, and the forest grew dark and foreboding. As the storm raged on, a dark shadow fell over Harmony Hollow, and the magical harp strings went silent. Eloan tried to play, but the harp refused to sing. The villagers grew anxious and disheartened, fearing that the magic of their beloved harp had been lost forever. One young girl, Lyra, who loved the harp more than anything, decided she must find out what had happened. She believed that the harp's silence was a sign of a greater problem and that she needed to help restore its magic. With a heart full of courage and hope, Lyra set out on a quest to discover the truth behind the harp's silence. Lyra journeyed deep into the forest, guided by the faint echoes of the harp's last song. As she walked, she encountered various creatures, squirrels, owls, and even a wise old deer, each of whom offered clues and advice. They all pointed her toward the Crystal Cavern, a mystical place rumored to hold ancient secrets and great power. The path to the Crystal Cavern was treacherous, with icy winds and towering snowdrifts. But Lyra pressed on, determined to help her village and the harp she cherished. After a long and arduous journey, she finally reached the entrance of the cavern. Inside, the cavern sparkled with crystals of every color, reflecting the faint light from Lyra's lantern. At the heart of the cavern, she discovered a grand, ancient tree with branches that glistened like diamonds. Beneath the tree lay a slumbering, silver dragon, its scales shimmering with a soft, ethereal light. The dragon awoke as Lyra approached, its eyes filled with both wisdom and sorrow. "Welcome, brave Lyra," the dragon said in a deep, melodic voice. "I am Draconis, the guardian of the Crystal Cavern. I have been waiting for someone with a pure heart to help restore balance to the forest." Lyra explained the plight of Harmony Hollow and the silence of the magical harp. Draconis listened intently and then spoke, "The storm that has befallen your village is the result of a curse placed upon the harp by a jealous sorcerer who sought to steal its magic. To break the curse, you must retrieve 3 magical items from the cavern." Draconis guided Lyra to 3 hidden locations within the cavern. 1. The luminous blossom *, a glowing flower that could only be found in the deepest part of the cavern. Lyra discovered it growing amidst a bed of shimmering stones, its petals radiating a soft, healing light. 2. The echoing shell *, a conch shell that held the power to amplify and restore lost magic. It was nestled among the crystal formations, its surface gleaming with a silvery sheen. 3. The eternal flame *, a small, enchanted flame that never extinguished. It was housed within a delicate crystal vial, glowing with an inner fire. With the 3 items in hand, Lyra returned to Harmony Hollow. The storm had worsened, and the village was on the brink of despair. But Lyra was determined to restore the harp's magic. She approached the silent harp with the luminous blossom, the echoing shell, and the eternal flame. As Lyra placed the items near the harp, the flower's glow began to merge with the harp's frame, the shell amplified the whispers of magic, and the flame sparked a renewed light within the harp strings. The harp trembled and then sang a powerful, melodious tune that filled the village with warmth and hope. The storm began to dissipate, and the clouds parted to reveal the sun. The villagers emerged from their homes, their faces lighting up with joy and relief as the harp's music filled the air once more. They gathered around Lyra, thanking her for her bravery and the restoration of their beloved harp. Iloan, moved by Lyra's courage, praised her as the true hero of Harmony Hollow. The harp resumed its role as the heart of the village, its music now more magical and enchanting than ever. The village thrived, and Lyra became a symbol of hope and perseverance. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush, sprawling forest, there lay a hidden village called Willowbrook. This village was unique because it was surrounded by a magnificent array of enchanted trees, each with its own special magic. The most remarkable tree of all was the Whispering Willow, which was said to hold the power to reveal hidden truths and grant a single wish to a person with a pure heart. In Willowbrook lived a brave young girl named Lyra, known for her adventurous spirit and unwavering kindness. She had heard many stories about the Whispering Willow and often wondered about the secrets it might hold. Her closest friend was a clever, golden-eyed owl named Orin, who had a knack for solving riddles and finding hidden paths. One crisp autumn day, Lyra and Orin decided to visit the Whispering Willow to uncover its secrets. As they ventured into the forest, they noticed that the trees seemed to whisper more loudly than usual, guiding them toward the heart of the forest. When they arrived at the Whispering Willow, they found the tree shrouded in a gentle mist. The tree's branches swayed softly, and its leaves shimmered with a soft, ethereal light. Lyra and Orin approached the tree, and a soft, melodic voice echoed through the mist. To reveal the secrets of the Whispering Willow and receive a single wish, you must complete 3 tasks that test your heart and spirit. With determination in her eyes, Lyra agreed to the challenge. The first task was the trial of courage. The Whispering Willow's voice guided them to a dark, winding cave at the edge of the forest. The cave was known for its eerie echoes and labyrinthine passages. Lyra and Orin entered the cave, and the darkness seemed to close in around them. They relied on Orin's keen night vision and Lyra's steady resolve to navigate the winding paths. They encountered various illusions and challenges along the way, but Lyra's bravery and Orin's guidance helped them find their way to the cave's heart, where they discovered a glowing crystal embedded in the wall. They retrieved the crystal, proving their courage. The second task was the trial of wisdom. They were led to a beautiful meadow where an ancient stone tablet stood. The tablet was inscribed with a riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? Lyra pondered the riddle carefully. With Orin's encouragement, she thought about the nature of sound and its presence in the world. An echo, she answered. The stone tablet glowed with a warm light, and a path appeared, leading them to the final task. The final task was the trial of compassion. They arrived at a serene pond where a small, injured dragonfly lay on a lily pad. The dragonfly's wings were damaged, and it seemed weak and in need of help. Lyra and Orin carefully tended to the dragonfly, using their gentle hands and soft words to soothe it. Orin fetched fresh water from the pond, and Lyra used some herbs she had gathered along the way to help heal the dragonfly's wings. Slowly but surely, the dragonfly regained its strength and fluttered its wings with newfound energy. With all 3 tasks complete, the whispering willow's mist began to clear, and its branches shimmered with a brilliant light. The tree's voice spoke again, filled with warmth and gratitude. You have shown bravery, wisdom, and compassion. Your heart is pure, and you have earned the right to make a single wish. Lyra closed her eyes and made her wish. I wish for the forest and its creatures to always be safe and harmonious, so that the magic of the Whispering Willow can continue to thrive. The Whispering Willow's leaves glowed even brighter, and its magic spread throughout the forest. The trees seemed to hum with joy, and the creatures of the forest rejoiced in their newfound sense of peace and safety. Lyra and Orin returned to Willowbrook, their hearts filled with happiness. The village celebrated their bravery and kindness, and the story of their adventure became a cherished tale, passed down through generations. And so, the Whispering Willow continued to stand tall in the heart of the forest, a symbol of the enduring magic that lives in every act of courage, wisdom, and compassion. The end. Once upon a time, in a cozy little village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a curious kitten named Kiki. Kiki had bright green eyes, soft gray fur, and an insatiable curiosity about the world around her. While the other kittens in the village were content to play with yarn and chase butterflies, Kiki always dreamed of discovering new and exciting places. One sunny morning, as Kiki was exploring the outskirts of the village, she stumbled upon an old, forgotten path overgrown with ivy and wildflowers. Her whiskers twitched with excitement as she sniffed the air. She had never seen this path before, and her adventurous spirit urged her to follow it. Kiki trotted down the path, her paws making soft sounds on the moss-covered ground. The further she went, the more magical the surroundings became. Birds with bright plumage sang sweet melodies, and butterflies of every color danced around her. After a while, Kiki reached a tall, ancient wooden gate covered in vines. With a gentle push of her paw, the gate creaked open, revealing a hidden garden. It was the most beautiful place Kiki had ever seen. The garden was filled with vibrant flowers, tall trees with golden leaves, and a sparkling stream that wound its way through the center. At the heart of the garden stood a magnificent fountain, its water glistening in the sunlight. As Kiki explored the garden, she noticed something unusual about the fountain. At its base was an intricate mosaic depicting a story. It showed a young girl and a kitten, just like Kiki, discovering the garden and embarking on a grand adventure. Curiosity piqued, Kiki examined the mosaic closely and found a hidden compartment. Inside was a small, ornate key. I wonder what this opens, Kiki thought, her green eyes sparkling with anticipation. Just then, a soft voice called out, "Hello, little kitten. What brings you to our magical garden?" Kiki turned to see a graceful, shimmering fairy with delicate wings fluttering nearby. The fairy introduced herself as Lila, the guardian of the hidden garden. "Hello, Lila," Kiki replied. "I found this key near the fountain. Do you know what it opens?" Lila smiled kindly. "That key unlocks the door to the enchanted glade, a place filled with wonders and secrets. But the journey to the glade is not easy. You must be brave and kind-hearted to reach it." Kiki felt a mix of excitement and determination. "I'm ready for the adventure," she said confidently. Lila nodded and pointed to a small, hidden door at the edge of the garden. Kiki approached the door, inserted the key, and with a soft click, it opened. Beyond the door lay a path lined with glowing flowers and twinkling lights. As Kiki ventured down the path, she encountered various magical creatures. She helped a family of fireflies find their lost child, guided a confused hedgehog back to his home, and shared her food with a hungry rabbit. With each act of kindness, the path grew brighter, and Kiki felt more confident. Finally, after what seemed like a long journey, Kiki reached the enchanted glade. It was a breathtaking sight. The glade was filled with the soft glow of bioluminescent plants, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of jasmine. In the center of the glade was a large, ancient tree with golden bark and silver leaves. At the base of the tree was a small door, much like the one in the garden. Kiki used the key one last time, and the door opened to reveal a hidden chamber filled with treasures, shimmering crystals, golden trinkets, and a book bound in velvet. Kiki carefully opened the book, and to her surprise, it told the story of her journey, the friends she had helped and the challenges she had overcome. At the end of the story, it read, "The greatest treasure of all is the kindness and courage you have shown." Just then, Lila appeared beside her. "You have done well, Kiki," she said softly. "This glade and its treasures are a reward for your bravery and kindness. You are always welcome here." Kiki's heart swelled with pride and happiness. She thanked Lila and promised to return. With the key in her paw, she made her way back to the hidden garden and through the old gate, returning to the village. The other kittens greeted her with wide eyes and eager questions about her adventure. Kiki shared her story, and from that day on, she was known as the bravest and kindest kitten in the village. Kiki continued to explore, always ready for the next adventure, and she never forgot the magical garden and the enchanted glade. She kept the key close, a reminder of the incredible journey and the friends she had made along the way. And so, Kiki the curious kitten lived happily, with a heart full of kindness and a spirit always eager for the next adventure. The end.